on the backdrop of something really important in Louisville, Kentucky. We were dropping our 18-year-old off to college. And one of the things I noticed is that Louisville, like a lot of universities, are just gentrifying like all these black neighborhoods all around the university, right?
Mhm.
And it made me think about how the week before, just connecting dots, the Wall Street Journal had just stated that black wealth is actually dropping, that the wealth gap is increasing between whites and blacks because of things like student loans. And all that money,
Mhm.
all that tuition money, that student loan money is going to the universities who's using
Yeah.
the money to buy our neighborhoods. So they're buying our neighborhoods with our money.
Oh
And it made
yeah.
me think about, people like yourself and what you're doing and why it's so important.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to get people very clear on the distinction between gentrification and colonization. So, gentrification is actually a good thing. Gentrification, if you look at the dictionary definition, it is the upliftment of a community, right? So, even if it's an all black block, if everybody does gardens in their front yards and paints the facades of their homes, they've actually gentrified their neighborhood, right? And they've actually increased the equity for everybody on that block, right? What we've been calling gentrification is actually colonization. And colonization is when outsiders come in and seek to displace the people that are native to that particular neighborhood or that space. And so we've been using the word gentrification because it's lighter than the word colonization. But what's really been happening in our communities is colonization, not gentrification.
Mm, mm. Okay, so that's heavy. So let's stop the colonizers. And as we get started real quick, and I'm not gonna be here for long, but I want to definitely greet everybody, Yoshida and Broderick, and let's see who are some of the others that are in here. I want to say hi to Aisha and Alice and Amir and Ann and
Mhm.
Ashley and Bridget and Brian and Broderick and Candace and so many of you that came in, and shout out the name of your city too. Let us know what city you're from. And
Yeah,
uh,
let us
and,
know
and
where you're
so I'm
from.
not going to be here long. I'm going to actually let Jullien do what he does best. But I want to make sure you all understood why we're doing this and what's going on here. And also, Jullien's going to be at the All Black National Convention at the end of October in Orlando. You can go to
Mhm.
allblacknationalconvention.com, get your super early bird tickets at allblacknationalconvention.com. If you want to get your discounted hotel, everybody write this down. Somebody type in the chat. It's abnchotel.com. That's abnchotel.com. We're going to cover everything and then some. It's a big black family reunion, politics, real estate, stock market investing, relationships, everything. Dr. Alicia will be there. abnchotel.com. You can get your discounted hotel. All right, so let's go ahead and get started here. So we can so we can make sure we all walk away learning something and we're all better, stronger, more intelligent people by the time we're done. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay, so today what we're really digging into is what is called the emancipation equation, which is basically something that you probably should have learned in school. It's something I believe children should learn when they're little, and it's all about picking up real estate. A lot of people don't know that the people that have wealth in America are people that own property. Dr. Claude Anderson said it a million times. Minister Louis Farrakhan said it a million times, that we should all get together and buy land. And what I would encourage you to do is not just think about things like college degrees and good jobs. That's all fine and good, nothing wrong with that. But really things like property and ownership of assets. That's like graduate school. So you think about, a college degree is undergrad. Having real wealth is graduate school. Okay, so I want to take y'all to graduate school. So who am I? Well, I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I founded a few different programs you guys may know about. The Black Wealth Boot Camp. A lot of you have been through that. The Black Business School. We have 144,000 students worldwide now. We are the number one HBCU in America when it comes to building Black wealth and closing the wealth gap. Very few schools actually focus on that. We focus solely on the wealth gap through building the family and creative ways to help us really solve a problem that has been seen to be unsolvable. Where, again, a lot of us are getting degrees. We're getting a lot of politicians elected, but the wealth gap is growing. Well, that's not true in the Black Business School. In your group, the wealth gap is closing, and you're creating a new gap between you and everybody else. Most of you who are in here, B1 people in the Black Business School, your wealth is actually higher than most other Americans. It's higher than most other Black people, higher than most other white people, higher than the Asians, higher than the Jews, higher than everybody else, because our kids are the best. We also have things like the 48-hour business school, the Your Black World Coalition, Black Millionaires of Tomorrow, which is our business school for children. And so here's the thing: that there's one thing that did change everything. And financial education was the thing that mattered for me. When I was in school, I did not make good grades. I did not enjoy going to school. School was not built for me. And I found that the real education was actually learning how to make money. That's what mattered to me. I didn't care about all the other stuff they were teaching in school. I wish they had just cut all the nonsense and got to the good stuff. So we're basically here to help Black people reach our financial Juneteenth, where you don't have to worry about money when you're controlling your own financial destiny. That means making decisions in your life without those decisions being driven by money, owning entire supply chains, playing above the rim, playing big boy economics, where you aren't just necessarily being a cog in the wheel. You own the wheel. You're building the wheel. You're building a better wheel. You're not climbing the corporate ladder. You're building a ladder, right? And other people climb that ladder, but I believe we should own the ladders. And so multifamily real estate is one of the ways to do that. It's no longer a matter of relying on other cultures to seek handouts or jobs. No other culture depends on us. No, in terms of getting jobs, like you don't see white kids or Asian kids graduating from college saying, "I hope that a Black man will hire me." They go hire themselves, and that's what I want our people to do. So this has allowed us to free a lot of people. The number is 80,000, but we got to update this slide, man. It's about 144,000 now, and we've actually hit millions of people all throughout the world at theblackbusinessschool.com. We have several people that work for our team. We're creating real jobs, and the platform is super powerful. And so real estate is one of what we call one of the three pillars of wealth. There's three pillars. The three pillars are entrepreneurship and business ownership / the second pillar is stock market investing, which you guys know we talk about quite a bit. And then the third is real estate. And Jullien is our dean of real estate. And I'm very honored to work with him because this brother is not just a brilliant young man and just really great at what he does, but he's just a good guy, a good guy. And I've told you all about the importance of doing business with people with integrity. Jullien has integrity, and he's a wonderful human being to work with, in addition to a guy who I believe can change your life. And he's showing and proving. Right now they're doing all kinds of stuff down in Baton Rouge. They have, I think, what did you say, Jullien? Over $3 million in real estate you guys have acquired?
That we've acquired, yeah, and we're developing 160 multifamily units in the Eddie Robinson Senior Historic District, which was a Black neighborhood that they ran a freeway through, and of course split up and divided up that community, and now we're putting it back together.
There you go. So he's not talking about it. He's actually out there doing it. He's actually out there building it. And so what we did is, because we want to serve you the best we can to hopefully get you all to invest in the Black Business School with us to build a Black-owned university, we do surveys. And what we found was in the survey that things like real estate investing were at the top of your priority list in terms of things that you wanted to know. Stock market was number one, real estate was number two. So we said, okay, let's double down, dig into real estate and connect with some people we trust who can really help us get this done. So there are some unique challenges that Black people face when it comes to real estate. First of all, most wealth comes from real estate. The studies show that the number one way that people go from lower class to middle class is through property ownership. The number one way they go from middle class to upper class is stock market participation. So if you own property and you consistently invest in the stock market, you're not going to be poor. You'll probably be either middle class or rich. Also, the home ownership rates for Blacks is very interesting. It hit a 50-year low recently, right? I thought that after all the MLK marches and Kumbaya, we shall overcome, singing that things will be better, but it's not better, right? Because marching and praying and holding hands doesn't help you compete economically. You actually have to get out here and make the moves. So home ownership rates have dropped for Black folks. A lot of access to capital has been a problem. 19.3% of Black applicants were denied a conventional home loan. And so there's a lot of other issues here. The refinancing market also has a big problem for Blacks. So really, at the end of the day, you got to get back to land ownership. Land ownership, in my view, is more important than almost anything else, including things like a college degree. I think college is fine. We just dropped our 18-year-old off to college. And when I took him to college, I said, okay, so this is undergrad. As we finish in undergrad, we got to go to graduate school. Graduate school is business ownership, that is land ownership, that is stock ownership. Okay. Mm-hmm. So basically, we've lost millions of acres of land. Because we've changed our value system. And this is something that we're shifting back. We're trying to go back to the future. We're trying to move to the future by going back to the past, where Black folks actually own millions of acres more land 100 years ago than we own right now. So we're a little bit old school with it. And so my first interaction with real estate personally wasn't good. I had these are my grandparents, Matt and Elma. I just saw my grandfather this weekend. He was born in 1926. I think so that makes him I done lost count of the math. I want to say it's 95 years old. Is that right? Yeah, 95 years old. And I saw him. He still wears his World War II hat. Shout out to the veterans, by the way. God bless you for your service. I have tremendous respect for you. And so he was a proud Navy man. And this is my grandmother, Elma. She passed a few years ago. She died of Alzheimer's. And my grandfather showed me what manhood looked like because he loved this woman up until the last minute she was on this earth. He would carry her to the bathtub and took care of her, even when she didn't even know who we were anymore. He took care of that woman all the way up until the end. That's what manhood's about. We protect our own, we protect our women. That's what we do. And that's what my grandfather did throughout his life. Well, they lived in this house right here. They moved in the house, I think, about 1958, and stayed in the house until about 2006. And they lost the house. They I guess they got a home equity loan or something, and things went bad, and it was one of those predatory loans. And so they lost his house, and it was very sad because literally, imagine, you're digging out through a basement that has stuff literally going back 50 years, 50-year-old stuff in the basement. It was, to clean out this house was the hardest thing in the world. It took the whole family working together in order to do this. Now the whole community's falling apart, drug dealers, crackheads everywhere, all kinds of chaos everywhere, people getting killed on every block. But this used to be a good neighborhood, just like a lot of our neighborhoods. And eventually the white folks will move in and they're going to own all this property. And that's kind of how things work. Now, stories like this really bother me about real estate. Now, one guy that really helped me kind of see real estate differently was Jullien Gordon. Now, Jullien, let me tell you about Jullien real quick before I pass the ball to him. We're honored that he is the dean of our real estate, our real estate department in the Black Business School. He's one of the best on earth when it comes to real estate. He's right up there. He's the founder of the Freedom School and the multifamily movement. He graduated from Stanford and UCLA. So he's gotten the best education that other folks can offer. But now he's working with his people, and he's dedicated his life to his people. And so what I want to do is pass the mic on to my brother Jullien, who is, in my view, he's one of those people that your children should be learning from first, because the things that he's teaching not only are being recognized worldwide. I told you guys about how he and a team of people are buying millions of dollars in real estate in Baton Rouge, but also he's a guy that one day he's going to have access to $1 billion. One day when the world catches up and stops being so racist and exclusionary, Jullien in his 40s, 50s, and 60s is going to be one of those guys that's managing billions of dollars in property and assets, and he's going to deserve every bit of that success. So without further ado, I'm going to hand the ball off to Jullien. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Jullien Gordon to the platform.
Thank you so much, Doc. I really, really appreciate that. I'm humbled by your words, and I do believe in that vision, and I will step into that affirmation. We need to be able to make our dollars work harder than we work for them, and real estate has been one of the most amazing ways that I've been able to do that. A lot of times for us as Black folks coming from the lower class in general, we aspire to be in the middle class or the upper class, but I found a group of people that is more free than anybody in the middle class or the upper class, and that is the asset class. Can everybody in chat type asset class? Can everybody in chat type asset class? The asset class are the group of people who live based on their assets. Their assets produce enough income for them to cover their cost of living. And at that point, you are free. So it is greater than just having high active income. Okay. Most people only have active income, even if you have a high paying job on the corporate plantation, right? Well, ultimately, if you really want to be free, you have to have passive income. And that is what the asset class is all about. So I hope that's a new vocabulary word and a new aspiration for all of you who are here that you take with you for the rest of your life. That is the goal. That is the only way to beat the game. If you ever played cash flow, Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow, the only way to get out of the rat race is through assets. There's no other way. And so I'm excited to be here to teach you this and walk you through a framework that I know is going to bless you and help you really understand the power of ownership and actually get your foot in the door in real estate with minimal risk and minimal expense here on this webinar for the Emancipation Equation Real Estate Edition. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm going to introduce myself in a second, but I want to get a feel for who's in the room. We've already done where you currently live. Can you please type renter, single family owner, or investor in the chat? Let me know where you are. Renter, single family owner, actually single family buyer, excuse me. Most single family purchasers are not owners. You do not own the property until you've paid off the mortgage in full. So single family buyers, renters, and investors. Okay. So I'm seeing about 60 to 70% renters, about 20% single family buyers, and then about 10% investors. Cool. Just wanted to get a feel for who is in there. Ooh, I saw a condo in there. Ooh, no, 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 no. No condos, no HOA fees. No, 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 no. If you have one, get out as soon as you can. We'll talk about that in just a second. So let me introduce myself really quickly and just give you a feel for who I am so that you know that you're talking to somebody credible and who understands what we're about to cover. So my name is Jullien Gordon. You may know me online as Mr. Multifamily. My purpose is to free 300 people like Harriet Tubman to pursue their purpose through entrepreneurship and multifamily real estate. As you know, Harriet Tubman freed 300 people over the course of a decade by making 19 trips over the Mason-Dixon line. And this is why we love her. And she is the ancestor spirit that I look to for guidance on this journey. Now, she was the #1 conductor on the Underground Railroad and had to do it in secret. What I'm going to teach you today is what I call the Above Ground Railroad. Now, quick history lesson. Where did Harriet Tubman take people in the middle of the night as they were making their way up north? Where did she hide people in the middle of the night? Does anybody know? Where did Harriet Tubman hide people in the middle of the night? Somebody said it. Nicole said it, and Anthony said it. Safe houses. She hid them in safe houses. Do you realize that real estate has been part of your journey to freedom since day one, y'all? Real estate has been part of your journey to freedom since day one. Now, I believe that the safest house that you can buy today is actually multifamily real estate. Multifamily real estate is the new safe house. It is the pathway to freedom today. Now, a lot of people think that slavery is done and that they don't see the chains and the shackles, and so slavery is over. But I need you to know that modern day slavery still exists, and modern day slavery is mental and it is monetary. Okay. And I'll prove it to you. Did you know that the US dollar is 75% cotton? The US dollar is 75% cotton. So most of us are still out on the corporate plantation every single day, picking cotton for our masters. Every day you go and get bales of cotton for your master, and every 2 weeks you get paid a ration. The US dollar is 75% cotton. The joke is on you. Slavery hasn't gone anywhere. It's just adapted. And so we need to adapt our strategy in order to get free. Now we don't have to run through the swamps and through safe houses to get free. So I know for a fact that you can get free through multifamily real estate. So my real estate results include building a $5.2 million real estate portfolio before the age of 40. I control 15 multifamily homes right now with 38 units or apartments or doors. They generate about $37,000 per month in rents. I built this portfolio in just 8 years, and I built it on the side. You do not have to quit your job to become a real estate investor. I used to speak all across the country at colleges and corporations, and I no longer have to do that anymore. Even though I enjoyed the work, I no longer have to leave home, right, to go get money. I no longer have to trade time to make money. My real estate portfolio generates way more than enough income for me to have everything that I love and need comfortably. Now, my real estate portfolio returns a 15.9% return annually. If you understand what do you think the stock market returns annually, y'all? What do you think the stock market returns annually? Tanya says 10%. Jeremy says 8%, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5 to 12, 12. I've actually done the research, and the stock market actually returns about 4 to 5% annually. This is the historic data over the past 20 years. So most people believe that the stock market returns 7 to 10% every single year. And this is the data from the S&P 500, which is one of the major indexes. It is not true. The stock market has only returned 4.23% on average over the past 20 years. What I'm teaching you on this webinar is actually an asset class that has a 3 times greater return than just playing the stock market blindly by yourself, okay? So my properties have appreciated by $1.3 million in value. I've raised $3 million for the Buyback Baton Rouge Fund, where we're developing 160 multifamily units out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I'm founder of the multifamily movement, where I'm helping thousands of students achieve rent and mortgage freedom. And I'll talk to you about that in just a second. And I want to be very clear that I am not a licensed real estate agent. You do not have to be one either in order to become a real estate investor. In fact, real estate agents and real estate investors think differently about real estate. They both play and dabble in real estate every single day, but they think differently. I'm going to be teaching you how to think like a real estate investor that uses a real estate agent, not how real estate agents think. Okay. So I'm going to open up this webinar a little bit differently. I'm sure you've been on some boring lectures and webinars online in this era of Zoom. And so I'm going to do something a little bit different. I want to entertain you. I want to educate you and entertain you, but there's also going to be some tough love on this webinar. Okay. And so I wrote this poem for you. I understand real estate in so much depth that I can weave all the vocabulary together to present you with a poem. So I would like to share that with you right now. And it's called the Multifamily Poem. Why don't we hack houses like frat houses where everyone living good for just a few thousand? Some will say it's lousy while they slaving proudly, spending 1/3 of their revenue to pay for housing. Living on your own, but you don't own ish. Can't even get a loan. Student debt is thinking a higher wage is the way to get rich. Not if your living expenses rise directly with it. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, deep in debt till you croak. I'm gonna live just like the Jeffersons, pretend that I'm broke. Then I'll buy a multifamily, let the rents pay the note. Perhaps you could be my tenant. Yo, that would be dope. I keep my cost of living low along with my blood pressure. Because if you're always stressing, it's hard to enjoy pleasure. The man with the most is not the one who wins the race. It's the man with his soul who can look at his own face. 40 acres and a mule is what they taught us in school. I'd rather have 40 apartments in a big money pool. Leverage credit to capital and capital to cash flow. Cash is not king because the interest too low. Some call me a do-gooder. I got good deeds in my name. As the Lord of my land, I'll never be a slave. You can dabble in stocks, lose your shirt and your socks, but the demand for housing will never ever stop. Assets, assets, assets. Passive, passive, passive. These are the two keys to amass wealth quick. But quick is really relative. It's a long-term game. Who you hustling for? Your first or your last name? All right. Bars. Y'all with me? See, right now where you are on your journey to wealth and your wealth consciousness is not as high as you desire it to be. And you might not have grasped every single line that I drop. Every single line in this poem has economic power in it, okay? For instance, you've been told that cash is king. Cash is not king. Cash is actually pawn. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world, and it isn't backed by anything. It is essentially worthless, okay? In the game of chess, queens are assets. Queens give birth to kings, which is cash flow, and kings lead to cash, which are pawns. And in the game of chess, you will happily sacrifice a pawn or cash to acquire another queen. What Nipsey Hussle say? We playing chess, not checkers. Okay, you have to elevate your game to understand how money works in order to determine how you should be using your money. If you have money sitting in a savings account, if you have dead presidents sitting in a savings account, it is your responsibility to resurrect them. You were meant to give them life. You were meant to make them work harder for you than you worked for them. If you look at your interest rate at a Bank of America savings account, it is 0.03% interest. This is why cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. And when you add in inflation, cash actually loses money, okay? If you take the rule of 72, 72 divided by 0.03 means that it will take you 2,400 years to double your money in a savings account. 2,400 years. You cannot save your way to wealth, family. The only way to wealth is to invest. And so what I'm going to show you on this webinar is an asset class that at the bare minimum yields a 12% cash on cash return. 72 divided by 12 is 6. So now your money is doubling every 6 years instead of every 2,400 years. On top of that, you live for free. All right. So let's get into it. Right. I'm going to be very transparent on this webinar. I'm going to share with you everything that I know in the short amount of time that we have. And so I want to actually show you the properties that I control. I'm not just going to say that I control 15 properties. These are the actual properties that I control here and now. I have all the keys to them. Okay. The first property in the upper left-hand corner was my property in Brooklyn, New York. This was my first property. And this is the property that got me to rent and mortgage freedom. I bought it in May of 2013. And guess what, y'all? Ever since I purchased that property, I have not paid a housing expense since May of 2013. Not a mortgage, not rent, not a utility bill, not insurance, not maintenance. Why? Because the rents from the third floor and the second floor covered the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, CapEx, repair reserve, and vacancy rate, and left me with cash flow. I went from paying expensive rent in Brooklyn to being paid to live in Brooklyn with one single decision, just like that. This is the biggest and most powerful power move that you can make for your family right here and right now. Now, from Brooklyn, I went on to buy other properties from a distance. Obviously, Brooklyn is an expensive market. So I started buying in New Orleans. I bought a property in my hometown of Oakland, California. I continue to expand my portfolio in New Orleans from a distance. I now live in New Orleans, though, and now I'm expanding my portfolio in Baton Rouge. So today, I control 38 units, 15.9% cash on cash return, 1.3 million in appreciation, $37,000 in monthly rents. Most people, they're not excited about the first of the month. You know, Bone Thugs and Harmony, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of them. Most people dread that, okay? I'm actually excited on the first of the month because that means that income is coming in, okay? And then my portfolio is worth $5.2 million at this moment in time, all right? So the beautiful thing is that I've not only been able to do this for myself, I've been able to teach other people how to do it, the same process that I use. And I'm going to share as much as I can with you on this webinar. These are my students who have closed in a lot of the cities that you mentioned earlier, all across the country. I have students who are following my exact blueprint and process who are closing on multifamily homes all over the country. All different economic statuses, all different educational levels, veterans, people who come from low income, people high income, people in expensive markets, people in small markets that you never heard of, right? I've had students close in every single situation, and I'm excited to share this information with you. Now, this is nothing new. We've known this for a long time. Farrakhan said, we have to have land. Start buying up your community, okay? We cannot just let buy the block be a hashtag. We actually have to do it in real life. What was God's first gift to man before life, y'all? What was God's first gift to man before life? Does anybody know? What was God's first gift to man before life? It was land, y'all. It was land. Everything that has not come from God, right? Everything that has not come from man's imagination, it was here as land from God. You wanted a table, guess what? There was a tree right there for you. You wanted to eat, there was an apple right there for you. I guess you weren't supposed to touch that apple though. All right. So land is valuable. It can provide you with housing, clothing, food, everything come from the land. All right. So this is the power of what it is that we are seeking. Now, people still wondering why MLK got assassinated when he was on his kumbaya stuff, right? This guy was all about peace and passivity. No, MLK, he got killed because he was changing his tune, right? He went from I have a dream to actually I have a plan, right? I don't know if you've heard his I have a plan speech. It's a speech that you've never heard before. And this is what he said at the very same time as America refused to give the Negro any land. Through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant it was willing to undergird its peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided country agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farm. Not only that, today, many of these people are getting millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm. And they are the very people telling the Black man that he got to lift himself up by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with. Now this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we're coming to get our check. Pop, 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 pop. Land is where the power is. Name one group of people that has power that does not have land. Name one group of people who have power that do not have land. Italians, they can go to Italy. Spanish, they can go to Spain. Ethiopians, they can go to Ethiopia. Where do Black people go? Where's your land? Now, don't let them tell you that you weren't here in the continental United States before Columbus came. If Columbus killed people when he was here, then guess what? He didn't discover anything. It was already brown people and Black people here, right? but they've given you a narrative that you came over on a boat. This land is actually your land. How did you know how to farm so well? How did you know how to pick the cotton and make everything grow so well? You didn't have any familiarity with it. So we have to reclaim what is actually ours. And this is our birthright. And so here's what we are here to do. And it's crazy that we had our land stolen from us. Then we had to work the land. And now we actually have to buy it back. So we've had to pay 3 times. And guess what? It's still not stopping us from claiming what is ours. What is meant for you shall be yours. And no man or institution can stand in your way. All right. Now we have hip hop artists saying, go buy land. The culture is shifting. T.I. saying, go buy land. Rick Ross buying acres, right? Now, a lot of us are still waiting on our 40 acres and a mule. You got to stop waiting, y'all. You know, a lot of us, we are out here marching, power to the people, power to the people. When you have a sign that says power to the people, where does that say the power is? Where is the power, y'all? If you're marching on Washington and you're saying power to the people, where is the power? It's not in you. You're asking for it from somebody else, and people do not give up power. The rally call has to be power in the people. And guess what? If you recognize that the rally call is power in the people, you don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to march on Washington. All you have to do is go look in the bathroom mirror and say, power in me. Power in me. We've been begging too much, making lists of demands, trying to get this piece of legislation passed. You can get it passed, but who's going to enforce it? We have to take back control of our own lives, and it starts with taking back control of land, right? I don't want 40 acres and a mule right now. I want 40 apartments and a big money pool, a pool of money that I can tap into to continue to make investments. That will be more valuable to me right now than 40 acres and a mule. Because the truth is, most of us don't know how to farm. Most of y'all can't even keep the plant at your house alive. Most of y'all cannot even keep the plant at your house alive. Your kids come home with a goldfish and within 1 week it's dead. So what you gonna do with 40 acres? What you gonna do with 40 acres? Nothing. Okay? So again, modern day slavery has adapted. So our pathway to freedom has to adapt. All right? Now, we all know about the Underground Railroad. Harriet Tubman was freeing as many as she could in cohorts, in groups of people, to get them up north to the Mason-Dixon line. Well, that was the Underground Railroad. What I want to introduce you to on this webinar is what we call the Above Ground Railroad. The Above Ground Railroad. Multifamily real estate is literally right there in front of your face. It is above ground. It has been there this entire time, but you've been taught to look at it in the wrong way. Why? Because your eyes have been trained by shows like HGTV. So you've been taught to look at real estate for the aesthetics of it. I'm here to teach you real estate, to see real estate as an asset. You've been taught to look at real estate for the aesthetics. I'm teaching you to look at real estate as an asset. Multifamily real estate is the above ground railroad. It is the safest house you can buy right now, especially at these prices that are out there. Please do not buy a single family home, because once the market goes down, you are going to be stuck there, or else you will be selling underwater and you will have to get foreclosed on, or you will have to fork out money to just get out of your home. Please do not buy a single family home at this moment in time. So what is rent and mortgage freedom? What is rent and mortgage freedom? Rent and mortgage freedom is a result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever. So for most Americans, their 35% of their income, the money that comes into their household, goes out towards housing. And that's rent or mortgage. That's rent or mortgage. 35% goes out towards housing. So imagine with one single decision, you achieve immediate freedom because you no longer have a housing expense for the rest of your life. I'm talking never, ever. Andre 3000, never, ever, ever, ever. I have not paid a housing expense since May of 2013, y'all. Why? Because of multifamily real estate. It is that simple. I have not paid a housing expense since May of 2013. In chat, let me know what would change for you if you never had a housing expense for the rest of your life. What would change for you if you never had a housing expense for the rest of your life? Please let me know in chat. Everything. Freedom, stress level, freedom, my children's lives, generational wealth. Most of you are saying everything would change and you would be free if you never had a housing expense for the rest of your life. Well, this is exactly what I'm going to be teaching you on this webinar. Now, when we talk about multifamily real estate, what are we talking about? I'm not talking about those 6-unit buildings that you see when you drive down the freeway, okay? What I'm talking about is 2-family, 3-family, or 4-family homes, okay? These are also known as duplexes, triplexes, or fourplexes. The power in them is that there are only 2.6 million of them in the entire United States, and they only make up 18% of the entire rental supply. So we're looking for a very specific, rare asset, okay? What's powerful about it is that financing for a 2 to 4 family home falls under the same residential guidelines as a single family home, meaning that in order to get a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, you have to submit the same exact documents to the same lender and get the same financing terms as you would if you were buying a single family home. That is powerful. Once you get to 5 units or greater, that becomes a commercial property, and that is a different lending process, different lender in different terms, okay? Now, what's powerful is that if you buy a 3-family or a 4-family in the right way, okay, you can achieve rent and mortgage freedom with your first purchase like I did in May of 2013. If you buy a 3-family or a 4-family in the right way. Typically, a duplex will not get you to rent and mortgage freedom because the rents don't cover the print from one side while you live in the other, don't cover the principal, interest, taxes, insurance, capex, repair reserve, and vacancy rate, okay? So you typically want to go as big as possible on your first property, all right? Now, what happens to rents in the midst of an economic recession? Does anybody know? Well, here's the data. If you look at this blue line, which is rents, what you'll notice is that rents actually increase in the midst of an economic recession. How, Jullien? Why? People are losing their jobs. Well, guess what? People also lose their houses in an economic recession. And when people lose their houses, where do they have to go? They have to become renters. So now the demand for rentals has gone up, but the supply for rentals hasn't gone up. So when demand goes up, but supply doesn't change, what happens to price, y'all? When demand goes up, but supply does not change, what happens to price? Price goes up. So if you actually own multifamily real estate in the midst of this interesting economic time that we're in, your rents can actually go up. I've chosen not to increase my rents because I care for my tenants. I'm an ethical real estate investor. I'm not interested in squeezing the people who are on the lowest end of the totem pole, all right? But I have great tenants, and so I take care of them, and they take care of me. This is a fair exchange. I provide them with quality, affordable housing. I make sure that all their needs are met within 72 hours of getting any kind of issue presented. And this is the name of the game. Now, some people are asking, oh, well, Jullien, the eviction moratorium, this and that. Listen, y'all, 40% of my portfolio is Section 8. And so that means that my income is guaranteed on time and online, whether the economy is up or it is down. And then the other portion of my portfolio, all of my market rate tenants, I've screened them so well that I didn't screen people or choose people who were in economically vulnerable jobs. So I only had out of 38 units, I only had 3 people who chose to downsize. Nobody tried to stay in the properties on their own. They chose to downsize, move back home, move to a smaller space, etc. All right. This is natural turnover and vacancy rate when it comes to properties. So I've guaranteed and secured my portfolio by having Section 8. Some of you have negative stereotypes about Section 8 tenants. You get to screen your tenants. Section 8 or market, you still have to screen your tenants. My Section 8 tenants are amazing. They have been good people who have fallen on hard times. And guess what? They typically don't leave you for literally decades unless their family size increases. So this is the power of the game that I'm teaching you, all right? Now, what happens to interest rates in the midst of an economic recession? Interest rates are at a historically all-time low. Does anybody know how much boomers were paying for their McMansions on interest on their mortgages? How much were boomers paying in interest rate on their mortgages? Anybody know? Boomers were paying anywhere from 8 to 14% for their McMansions. That's what mortgage interest rates were at that time. Now, today, you can literally borrow money for 2 to 3% for 30 years. That is basically free money if you account for inflation being at least 3%. This has never happened before. These are all-time lows. And this is why it's important for you to get in the game right here and right now. Okay. So I know a lot of people worry about the down payment and whether or not they're going to be able to make the down payment, right? Well, I have some good news for you. I know a lot of people are living paycheck to paycheck. 78% of Americans live in paycheck to paycheck. And I got something interesting for you all. You realize that America is not that racist? I know this is going to, especially when we're here with B1, America's not that racist. Let me explain to you. When white people were fleeing Europe, who were they fleeing, y'all? When white people were fleeing Europe, who were they fleeing? Let me know. Who were they fleeing? They were fleeing other white people. So do you realize that if there were no brown people in North America, that there would still be a class or caste system right here on this land? There's only one color that the elite in America care about. Does anybody know what that color is? It is green. That is it. So please don't take it personal. It has nothing to do with you. All right? It has nothing to do with you. They will oppress whoever is willing to stay oppressed. They will even oppress their own. All right? If 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck and Black people only make up 14% of America, then what does that say, y'all? What does that say? It says that a lot of white folks are also enslaved. Okay? That means that a lot of white folks are also enslaved. All right? So, yes, are we struggling as a people? In many areas, we are. But we have to get out of this comparison of, oh, the white statistic is here, Black statistic is here. I'm not competing against them. I'm not running that race. I'm not running that race to college. I'm not running that race at the top of the corporate ladder. They can run that race. I don't care if we don't have Black CEOs of Fortune 500 companies, of their Fortune 500 companies, well, as long as we got enough over here of our own companies. I don't want to be a CEO of somebody else's company. All right. So we are finally not trying to keep up with other people, and we're stepping into our real power. All right. Now, I have some good news for you, because I know a lot of you are also living paycheck to paycheck. The reality is that you don't need a lot for a down payment on a multifamily home. You do not need a lot for a down payment on a multifamily home. This was my W-2 from 2012. This was my W-2 from 2012. And you can see that I only made $36,000 in that year. Does anybody know, did anybody remember what year I bought that property in Brooklyn, New York? Anybody know what year I bought that property in Brooklyn, New York? I bought it in 2013, right? So if you understand what is at play, this is the actual W-2 that they use to qualify me for that property. This is the W-2 that they use to qualify me for that property. How crazy is that, y'all? How crazy is that? I bought a property in Brooklyn, New York with a W-2 that showed $36,000 in income, right? So I bought a multifamily property when I wasn't making a lot of money. I bought in the most expensive market in the entire world. I bought while I was an entrepreneur, for those of you who are self-employed, and I bought within 3 years of an economic recession, okay? So yes, Brooklyn, New York, NYC, not another Brooklyn, right? And I showed you the 3-family earlier. Now, how many of you would be interested in learning how I did this? How many of you would be interested in learning how I did this off of $36,000 of shown income? All right. Get your mind blown emojis ready. Get your mind blown emojis ready, right? If you go to get finance for a single family home, okay, you can typically get finance for about 6 times your income, right? So this is a pink single family home in New Orleans, and this person makes $40,000 in W-2 income. So typically the bank will finance them for about $240,000. Okay, that number 6 is a general back of the envelope number. There's other factors that include your credit, your cash flow, and your cash, your savings, your cash reserves. Okay, but in general, it's about 6 times what you earn. All right, y'all ready? Watch this. If you go buy this fourplex that I actually control here in New Orleans, I actually control this property that you see, right? Did you know that the bank will actually add 75% of the annual rent that you are going to get once you own the property to your income, and they will qualify you based on that number? So let me show you the math. This property, let's say each unit yields $1,000 a month. That's $4,000 times 75%. That's $3,000. $3,000 times 12 months is $36,000. The bank, knowing that once you get the keys, you'll be receiving these rents as income, they'll add that $36,000 to your $40,000 W-2 income. Now that's $76,000, and they will qualify you for up to $456,000 of real estate. Literally almost twice as much real estate, simply because you bought a multifamily home first and not a single family. See, y'all just didn't understand how multifamily estate got financed. So you thought it was actually easier to buy a single family home. Listen to me carefully. It is easier to buy a multifamily home than it is to buy a single family home. I know that's going to be hard for some of you to receive. It is easier to buy a multifamily home than it is to buy a single family home. Just look at the numbers, y'all. Also, when it comes to the mortgage payments, when something happens to you over the 30 years that you have a mortgage, you lose a job, you're in transition, something happens to your health, who is there to help you with the mortgage payment on your single family home, y'all? Who is there to help you with your mortgage payment when something happens to you over 30 years? Anything can happen. Car accident, right? Mental health, physical health, you lose a job over 30 years. Who is there to help you with the single family home, y'all? I said with a single family home. Somebody said Jesus. Okay, so Jesus is going to pay your rent. All right, cool. Cool. All right. Now, when you have a, yes, Keith Sweat, nobody. What Keith was said, nobody. Now, when you have a multifamily home and something happens to you over 30 years, you get sick, you lose your job, or you have some mental health issues, you need to take a break because you lost your mother. Who's there to help you pay your rent, y'all? Who's been there helping you pay your rent this entire time, which allowed you to stack bread anyways? Your tenants. So you're telling me it's easier to buy a single family home than a multifamily home? Nah. Now, some of you think that you cannot make the mortgage payment. Oh, Jullien, I don't know if I can make the monthly mortgage payment. Listen to me very carefully. If you've been paying rent on time for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, guess what? You have been making a mortgage payment on time. It just hasn't been yours. So the idea that I don't know if I can make a mortgage payment, yet I've been paying rent, which is somebody else's mortgage payment, that doesn't make any sense. If you can pay rent on time, you can make a mortgage payment on time. But guess what? When you have multifamily real estate, you don't even have to pay a mortgage because your mortgage is being paid by the rent from your tenants. Are y'all with me? Is your chin up off the ground yet? Did you get up off the floor? Y'all good? So you think that you need this huge savings to get into multifamily real estate. Not true. Did you know that there are no money down programs out there? No down payment, no closing costs, no points or fees, and no credit score consideration. Did you know that? See, some of you didn't know because you just didn't do the research. You didn't do the research. You had your own limiting belief around what was possible for you, and therefore you didn't do the research. Okay? Let me show you. This program is called NACA. This program is called NACA, NACA.com. No down payment, no closing costs, no points or fees, no credit score consideration, and below market 30-year and 15-year fixed rates. Okay? So that excuse of I can't afford it is gone now, y'all. I never want to hear that excuse from you ever again. Ever. Because I've literally given you a proven pathway for you to get financed. If you were low income, you got bad credit, NACA. Low income, bad credit, NACA. How do I know that this works? Because this is Gloria. Gloria just bought a triplex, right, in Philly. July 1st, just bought her triplex in Philly. Look what she said, y'all. I closed on my first triplex July 1st in Philly through NACA. I was approved for 480 with 1.5% interest. Asking price was 520, offered 510. Seller paid 2% closing cost for me to close on the property, and I walked away with only paying the title fees. Did you hear that? I walked away only paying title fees. You want to know how much title fees are, y'all? couple $100. She acquired a triplex for a couple $100. Okay. So I know that this is possible. You just didn't know. So I want you to all be aware that your intellectual property, what you know, can get you physical property. Your intellectual property can get you physical property. The reason you don't have physical property, because some of you simply don't know enough. You don't have enough intellectual property. All right. So we need to change that. And that's what you're here for right now. Right. Your next option is the government's FHA program. And the government's FHA program is 3.5% down. So you could literally control this $300,000 duplex that I actually control here in New Orleans. You could control it for $10,500, right? 3.5% of $10,500 is, 3.5% of $300,000 is $10,500. Okay. So this is the government's FHA program. That is another option for you. So let me ask you this question. What other business can you buy for $300,000 with only $10,500 down, get financed for the other $289,000 in 30 to 45 days simply by emailing some pay stubs and some tax returns to the lender, have that business immediately cash flow in 30 days, and succeed with minimal time, effort, or experience? Please let me know in chat. Rest in peace to Alex Trebek. There are none. There are none. This is why this has to be the first major asset in your family's name. This has to be it. Okay. And so this is why I'm focused on teaching as many people how to get there as possible. Now, again, the monthly payment, many people think they can't make the monthly payment. And the reality is average 2-bedroom in the United States is $1,225. Average mortgage in the United States is $1,199. So it's actually less to own than it is to rent. It is less to own than it is to rent. But of course, we're not here to talk about single family ownership. We're here to talk about multifamily real estate where you don't even have to pay a dime. All right. You're actually getting paid to live. Now, this person attended my webinar before in July. She said, "Hey, Jullien, I love your online seminar. I really wish I could join, but being a single working mom right now is preventing me from pursuing my dream. At this time, I pay $1,200 a month for 9 years, which is insane for rent to a slumlord who never fixes anything. And if he does, it is used." All right. So real quickly, I just want to point out the victim consciousness. And the victim consciousness in this particular email is single working mom. Single working mom. This is this individual's excuse for not pursuing their dream. And here's how I know that excuse is not valid. Because if I can find 5 single working moms who have still acquired multifamily real estate, then we know that excuse is not valid. Now, I'm sure it's challenging being a single working mom, and I'm not calling single working moms out. In fact, I want everybody to cross out those 3 words, and I want you to put in the excuse that you use when you're not ready to show up. You all know what it is. It's that card that you pull up when you're not ready to be at your best, when you see a challenge you think is bigger than you. Right? You know what it is. I'm not going to ask you to type in the chat, but you all know what it is. How many of you have a card like that? How many have a card like that? An excuse that you lean on, a crutch that you pull out when you're not ready to show up. Oh, no, my dad wasn't around when I was growing up. I didn't graduate from high school. I didn't graduate from college. I got fired from my job. I'm on disability. I'm divorced. I got 3 kids. My leg hurts. I got a headache. How many of y'all got a card? You know what it is. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I got a learning disorder. You just, whenever you don't feel like showing up, you just pull out that card. Well, that card will get you sympathy. And some of you love the sympathy that you get from pulling out that card. But I have to let you know that your sympathy will never get you to success. Sympathy will never get you to success. So I'm asking you to rip that card up and retire it because it is not serving your highest self. All right. So moving on, let's look at this situation from an economic standpoint. $1,200 per month for rent for 9 years is $129,000. This individual has given a slumlord who does not care about her, her family, or our community whatsoever $129,000. You think we're going to close the wealth gap when we're giving people who hate us $129,000? And that's not even including interest over that time period. That's probably $250,000 if you add interest to all of that. All right. So how long does a lease last, y'all? How long does a lease last? A lease lasts how long? So you telling me that she couldn't have gotten on apartments.com or Craigslist.com and found another apartment when the lease was up? This is how you know she had slipped into victim consciousness. And guess what? Some of you have slipped into victim consciousness too. Some of you are stuck in situations, but you're not really stuck. I'm like, look, there's a pathway out, but you just want to be stuck. You actually want to be stuck. Boat done came by, you could have hopped in. Harriet done came by, you could have left, but you would rather be stuck. Why? I don't know. Okay. So in chat, type how much you pay in rent or how much you pay in mortgage. Type 1,000 rent or 1,000 mortgage. 1,000 rent or 1,000 mortgage. 1,400, 1,600, 550, 1,662, 2,100, 1,900, 900, 1,500, 2,200, 1,800, 750, 3,200, 3,600, 1,535, 3,700, 2,780, 795, 1,100, 1,000, 849, 1,259, 1,075. All right, stop, y'all. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you how much all of us are paying here. I'm going to calculate it. Let's just say the average is 1,200 per month. I'm 12 month times the number of people that are here right now. Y'all want to know how much we are collectively paying in housing expense right now? Y'all want to know how much we are collectively paying in housing expense right now? $14.4 million a year in housing expense. Just us right here. Not talking about your mama and daddy, your aunties and uncles, your kids. Nope. Just us right here. $14.4 million at least in housing expense every single year, rent and mortgage. You think we're going to be able to close the wealth gap when we're literally giving up $14 million every single year? Nah, ain't going to happen. We got to get on the other side of that equation. We need to actually be collecting that $14 million. All right. So with that, here's where the tough love portion comes in. How many of you had a coach or a teacher or a mentor or a parent or even hopefully a significant other who pushed you to do your best and pushed you to do things that you didn't want to do, but in hindsight, you knew that they were actually good for you? How many of you had somebody like that in your life? How many of you had somebody like that in your life? All right. Well, I hope to be that for you when it comes to your goals in regards to real estate. All right. So this is the tough love portion. And I want you, how many of you can tell that I'm coming from a place of love? We're here on Friday night. Okay. And I'm here with you. How many of you can tell that I'm coming from a place of love? All right. So I need you to know that, because if you don't know that, you might be triggered what I'm about to say. You might get triggered by what I'm about to say if you don't know that I'm coming from a place of love. I just realized that soft stuff doesn't work, y'all. That kumbaya, I have a dream stuff, it doesn't work. It doesn't motivate people. It doesn't get people to take action. So this is where the tough love comes in. All right. So for those of you who are renters, I need you to accept the reality right here and right now that you are homeless. If you are a renter, you are technically homeless. You don't have a home. Now, subconsciously, you may call it my apartment or my house, but you're not on the title. You're not on the deed. You've been renting Sally's house or Tommy's house for the past 5, 10, 15, 20 years now. So you are actually homeless. Now, here we have a homeless man who is sleeping on a bench, okay? Probably dealt with childhood abuse, drug addiction, mental health issues, no family, no friends, no money, no food, no clothes, no shelter, no education, no job, none of that. All this homeless man has are the clothes on his back. Here you are with $1,000 computer, $1,000 phone, good head on your shoulders, clothes, shelter, food, warmth, family, friends, job, education. You have all these advantages over this homeless man. Yet this homeless man owns as many properties as you do. Zero. This homeless man owns as many properties as you do. Zero. How is that? You've been working on the corporate plantation for how long? And you don't own anything? Nothing? You got student debt? Homeless man don't even got student debt. In fact, some of you have negative net worth right now, and this homeless man has a higher net worth than some of you. There's no debt collectors chasing after this homeless man. So essentially, his net worth is zero. And some of you have negative net worth with all of these advantages. Make that make sense. See, when you moved into that apartment, here's where you slipped into renter's consciousness. The moment you took that pair of scissors to the brown tape on that U-Haul box and started unpacking, that's when you slipped into renter's consciousness. Why would you unpack in somewhere in a place that is not yours, where you only intend to be temporarily? When I go to a hotel, I don't put my clothes in the drawers of the hotel. How many of you use the drawers at a hotel? You don't. You live out your suitcase. You know you're only going to be there temporarily. It's not your place. But y'all done unpacked every single box, literally every single box. You done bought furniture to fit certain nooks of somebody else's house, painted walls, put up bookshelves, you mowing the lawn, you sweeping. Everybody in the neighborhood thinks it's yours and it's not. That's when you slipped into renter's consciousness. You should have left all your stuff in the box to remind yourself that when you came in that front door, this is not my space. I'm just using this space temporarily until I get to ownership. So I encourage everybody to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or U-Haul this weekend and start packing. Start packing, because that is not your space. Psychologically, you need to start preparing to move now. Oh, your lease is up? I refuse to renew my lease. I'm going month to month. I don't intend to be here next Thanksgiving or next Christmas or next birthday or next New Year. I don't intend to be here. This is my last Thanksgiving here. This is my last summer here. This is my last first day of school here. You need to start preparing right now. Start packing up. Don't buy more stuff to come into somebody else's house. Don't go be a consumer and buy more stuff to come into somebody else's house. No, start packing to leave somebody else's house. Psychologically, you need to start training your mind right now. Okay? Now, some of you drive by this homeless man and you see him holding up the sign or whatnot, and you feel guilty and you want to give. I have to let you know right now, how are you going to give to a homeless person when you're homeless too? You are actually not in a position to give right now. How about we go get you an asset that generates passive income and creates abundance in your life, and then you give from that abundance? You are not in a position to give to a homeless person right now when you are also homeless. Yeah, you got a car, you got nice clothes, you got more food than he or she has, but you are not in a position to give. Let somebody like me give from my abundance to that individual. Trust that that is happening. You need to go acquire some assets first. Okay. Now, on this webinar, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe. All my single family buyers, I'm sorry, you were next. Did you know that the word mortgage literally means death pledge? If you look at the prefix mort, as in mortician or mortuary, the word mortgage literally means death pledge. They were literally telling you what you were signing up for. Hey, come sign this death pledge. But of course, you put your pictures up on Facebook and Instagram. Look at me, I'm a homeowner. Stop lying. You're not a homeowner. That's what HGTV taught you when you got the keys. You're not a homeowner. You are a home buyer. You bought a home, but you don't own it. You all know for a fact that you only own 3.5% of that home, and the bank owns the other 96.5% of home. So stop calling yourself a homeowner, because you're not. You're not. All right? So let me show you exactly how this transaction works. All right, because first and foremost, you're going to buy your home over the course of time, but with all the interest, you will also have bought your banker a home. This is why your banker smiles at you when you walk in the door, and they tell you how cute your family looks and how this is the best decision of your life, because they know that when you buy a home, you're also buying them a home. Yeah, you think the interest rate is small, 3%, 4%, it looks low, but over that amount of money, over a 30-year period, you end up paying a lot. I'll actually show you what the transaction looks like. If you're a single family buyer, the truth is that the bank buys your home. Listen to me carefully. The bank buys your home and then it rents it to you for 30 years. Okay? You thought you weren't paying rent anymore? Look at me, I'm grown, I ain't paying rent anymore. Yes, you are. You're not paying rent to a landlord. You're paying rent to the bank to use their money that you didn't have. It's called interest. You were renting the bank's money, so you were still paying rent. Okay? The interest on a $300,000 property with 3.5% down at 4% is $208,000. You divide that by 360 months, which is a 30-year mortgage. All of you single-family buyers, you're still paying $578 per month in rent to the bank. And on your first mortgage payment, 70% of that mortgage payment, let's say it's $1,000 mortgage payment, $700 went to interest and only $300 went to principal. Oh, but Jullien, my home is a good savings account. It's a great way to save money. Tell me, what other bank could you go to, deposit $1,000, but then when the receipt comes out of the machine, it only shows a credit for $300, and you call that good? How many of you would use that bank? I deposited $1,000 into the machine and got a slip back that says I only got credited for $300. You telling me that's a good savings account? Get out of here. Oh, but Jullien, my house appreciated. Yeah, if your house appreciated, you know what the appreciation covers? It may cover all the interest that you paid. It may cover all the interest that you paid. Doesn't mean that you up. You think you up. Oh, I bought it for $300. It's now worth $330. Yeah, but how much interest have you paid? $50,000 in interest. You have to look at the numbers, y'all. You have to know the transaction that you are getting in. Okay. So if you can pay rent, you can own a single family home. But this webinar is not about that. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage ever again, you can simply own a multifamily home. That's it. If you do not want to pay rent or mortgage ever again, you can simply own a multifamily home. All right. So let's look at the multifamily map. All right. Here's why you buy a multifamily first and not a single family, right? If you buy a single family first, let's say you put 3% down on a $100,000 single family, $100,000 just for easy math, okay? The same numbers and principle applies if we had larger numbers. Now that's $3,500, right? And then after coming to this webinar, you're like, hey, Jullien, I want to get into multifamily. Little did you know is that in a non-owner occupied multifamily real estate investment, you would have to put 25% down. So 25% down on a $300,000 property is $75,000. The total down payment is $78,000. The total down payment is $78,000. Okay. Watch this. Y'all want to see a trick? Y'all want to see a trick? Y'all want to see the trick? Watch this. Get your mind blown emojis ready. Get your mind blown emojis ready. I want to see them. Okay. Ready? Watch what happens. We simply just change the order. You put 3.5% down on a $300,000 property. That's only $10,500. I showed you that earlier. And then after living there for 1 year, which is the FHA requirement, then you put 25% down on your $100,000 single family home. Look at the total down payment, y'all. It's only $35,000. It's literally twice as easy to buy a multifamily first and then a single family than it is to buy a single family and then a multifamily. Numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie, y'all. What it is basic junior high school math. Right? Math for millionaires is what we call it at the Black Business School. Math for millionaires. You didn't need to know calculus. Yeah, you need to know some algebra, but you didn't need to know calculus. You didn't need to know what a derivative was. All you needed to know was some junior high school math, some basic equations. So all my single family buyers, if you feel you messed up, type messed up. And I'm not doing this to shame you. I'm doing this to educate all the people who are renting right now to not follow in your footsteps. All my single family buyers, type messed up. Look at some people are dropping F-bombs here, y'all. Look at the chat, y'all. Look at the chat. All my renters, just look at the chat. And thank you to the single family buyers for your honesty. Oh my goodness. This is about 100 single family buyers who are literally renters. Are you seeing this? See, nobody's going to tell you this publicly. Nobody will say, hey, y'all, I'm on my Instagram. I know I posted that picture of me buying that home, but yo, I messed up. Nobody's going to say that publicly. But here in this anonymous space, you see that single family buyers are letting you know, do not follow in my footsteps. All right. Now, single family buyers, you are not stuck. Okay. I hope that your home is appreciated over time, right? And so all my single family buyers, please type 625. 625. All my single family buyers type 625. they type it. Okay. The reason I'm having you type that is because there's 6 ways to reverse yourself out of that situation. Only 2 of them require you to sell. And little did you know, there are 5 ways to use FHA twice. 6 ways to reverse yourself out of that situation. Only 2 require you to sell, and there are 5 ways to use FHA twice. We won't be able to get to all of them here, but I'm just letting you know that you're only stuck if you choose to be. All right. So moving forward, here's the play that you are all seeking to run. I'm teaching you to run. Right now, many of you are renting $1,000 a month going to a landlord. That landlord takes that $3,000, right? They pay their $1,500 mortgage, right? And then they pocket the other $1,500, and then you can use that for their single family or for their lifestyle. Now, what I'm trying to teach you to do is do exactly what I did in Brooklyn, New York in May of 2013. Go acquire a triplex or a fourplex, right? The moment you do that, you achieve rent and mortgage freedom, because now you have rents from the 3rd floor and the 2nd floor covering your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, CapEx, repair, reserve, and vacancy rate, right? Plus leaving you with cash flow, and you are living for free off of one move. I haven't found one other single decision that will have as big of an impact on your financial future, except for who you decide to marry. And I cannot help find the love of your lifetime, but I can help you find an asset that will last a lifetime. And that is multifamily real estate. I can help some of you find assets that will last beyond your marriages. I can help you find some assets that will last beyond your marriages. Hopefully they don't get split by your marriage. I'm keeping it real with you. And here's how I know, y'all, because some of you right now are in the room on the computer trying to secure the bag for your family, and your significant other is in the other room trying to blow it. Some of you are in the room right now trying to secure the bag for your family, and your significant other is on Amazon or shopping right now trying to blow it. I don't know how that's going to work. How is that going to work? All right. So from here, the beautiful thing is you are no longer paying rent anymore. So that's actually $3,000 in your pocket, right? So you take that $3,000, right? And then you pay your $1,500 mortgage. Now you're living for free, right? You have full control over this triplex, and you have $1,500 in your pocket, right? So now you want your single family home. Everybody, I know the American dream, the programming. I want my detached single family home with the white picket fence, my nuclear family, a dog named Lassie. Yeah, I know. The programming is real. So look, you only have to live here for 1 year, which is the FHA requirement. Then you can go buy the single family that you desire. All right. So now you buy the single family that you desire. You put a tenant in the unit that you were living in. And now you have $3,000 coming from that property, plus $1,000 from no longer paying rent anymore. You pay $1,500 mortgages for both properties. Now you have 2 properties, your triplex and your single family. You're living for free, and you have $1,000 in your pocket. This is it. This is the play that I'm teaching you to run. And it all hinges on you buying this property right. It all hinges on you buying property right. I got some good news for you, y'all. Did you know that some of you are less than 90 days away from achieving rent and mortgage freedom? Some of you are less than 90 days away from achieving rent and mortgage freedom. And when you showed up on this webinar, you didn't even know it. Imagine being in the corporate plantation in Maryland, just below the Mason-Dixon line, and you slaving on the corporate plantation for 40 years. And then on your deathbed, somebody taps you on your shoulder and says, hey, guess what I just found out? I just found out the Mason-Dixon line is on the horizon by that tall tree. All this time, the Mason-Dixon line in Maryland was right there, but since you didn't know it, you kept on picking cotton instead of running for it. And now you're on your deathbed and it's too late. Well, I'm here to tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, guess what? The Mason-Dixon line to rent and mortgage freedom is less than 90 days away for some of you who are here right now. If you just follow this path, you will get there. How do I know? Because I've had students who have closed on multifamily real estate in less than 90 days. Students who have been on a webinar like this before and have closed on their property in less than 90 days. That's how I know. Some of your lives will be transformed within 90 days. You will never have a housing expense for the rest of your life. No cap. If you just follow the blueprint that I'm teaching, okay? So what we have to do is we have to retrain your eyes. Again, HGTV has taught you to look at real estate for the aesthetics of it, how beautiful it looks. What we're looking for is real estate as an asset and for the business of it. Aesthetics and beauty, assets and business. Two different pairs of lenses. Are you clear on that? Are you clear on that? Two different sets of lenses. So let's test your eyes right now. Let's see how you see. Which of these three houses is the most valuable? Which of these three houses is the most valuable? A, B, C, A, B, 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 C. Oh my goodness. Most of you have failed this test. House A has a price of $221. It has $21,000 of equity in it because of the fixes that they did to the home, right? But it's a single family home, so it has no rents whatsoever, okay? Then you have house B, which looks the best. It is brand new construction, but it's $330,000, no equity in it, and zero rents. Then you have house C, which is $180,000. It has $69,000 in equity because this house next door was built next to it, and it rents for $3,200 a month. It's actually a triplex. Okay, so this is, and the answer is C. The answer is C. And guess which one I own, y'all? Guess which one I own? I own C, y'all. I typically buy the ugliest house on the block. I typically buy the ugliest house in the most improving neighborhoods. All right. So you got to learn the game. We have to retrain your eyes. I call this HGTV foolishness. I'm going to burst some people's bubbles right now. Your first investment property probably won't look like anything you've seen on HGTV. Your first investment property probably won't look like anything you've seen on HGTV. It will not look like this, y'all. I wish that was the case. This is high-end luxury. Your first investment property will not look like this, okay? You watching shows like the Property Brothers, I say screw the Property Brothers. I'm your new property brother with an A. And I'm gonna keep it real with you about real estate, okay? This is about guaranteed cash flow, not granite countertops. This is about guaranteed cash flow, not granite countertops. Some of you are so fixated on these shows and they are teaching you to do the exact opposite of what I'm teaching you. You need to stop watching HGTV and you need to start watching JGTV. In fact, my students, when they're in my program, they cannot watch HGTV because it'll tell them to do the opposite, right? You over here focus on some granite countertops. You realize that granite countertops only cost $1,500 with an undermount sink? $1,500 with an undermount sink. You're about to make a $400,000 decision off of a $1,500 countertop? Are you serious? Oh, look at this stainless steel refrigerator with French doors. You can go get that at Lowe's or Home Depot this weekend for $1,500. You're going to make a $400,000 decision on a piece of real estate on a detachable $1,500 appliance. Just think about that, y'all. Just think about that. That makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. So we have to refocus on what's actually important. The only person that should be looking cute at the open house is your real estate agent. You should come to an open house in some jeans and an old t-shirt and your tennis shoes because you need to be down on the ground looking at the foundation. You need to be rubbing your hands on the HVAC to see how dusty it is. You need to check the plumbing. You need to check the electric. You need to climb up to the attic. You need to see if you can even get up on the roof. You need to get dirty at the open house, not look cute. This is not a photo shoot. This is a business acquisition. This is not a photo shoot. This is a business acquisition. You need to do your due diligence, and due diligence is dirty. Okay? So This is my first property in Brooklyn, New York. Okay. My first home was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible. My first home was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible. They put linen white paint over everything. They didn't care. They could at least put that gentrification gray paint up there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. How many of you got gentrification gray paint in your house right now? Y'all know what I'm talking about. All right. Look at my kitchen. Formica countertops, the cheapest countertops you can get at Lowe's or Home Depot. Look at my appliances, white appliances, no stainless steel. The only thing stainless steel was my sink. Basic cabinets from Lowe's or Home Depot, no backsplash whatsoever. If I would have went into this property looking at it with HGTV eyes, guess what? I would have walked out the door and missed an opportunity. But because I was looking at it as an asset, right? And I was looking at it as a business instead of looking at it aesthetically and for the beauty, I saw the opportunity in this property. So you have to decide which side of the equation you're going to be on. You're going to be a single family HGTV buyer, or you're going to be a multifamily real estate investor. Are you looking for your dream home or an asset that will pay for your dream home? Are you going to buy based on emotions, or are you going to buy based on economics? Are you looking for a finished basement, or are you going to look to start building wealth? You have to draw the line right now. Now, I know some of you want your single family home. You want what you want. I understand. But if you just give me some time to help you acquire multifamily homes, then those multifamily homes will provide enough cash flow for you to have your single family free and clear. This home that I'm in right now, guess what? This is my first single family after acquiring 38 units. And therefore, guess what? I own this home free and clear. No mortgage whatsoever. How did I do it? My multifamily homes paid for everything. I am actually a home owner, not just a home buyer, a home owner. If you just have a little bit of patience, I can get you everything that you desire. See, you want to have a multifamily home for every single bill that you have. This property and this property covers my mortgage. This property covers this car. This property covers this car. This property covers my cell phone, Netflix, and this. This property covers groceries. Every bill you have, you want to have a property for it. This is how you achieve freedom, y'all. Every property you have should cover an expense, monthly expense that you have. That is the name of the game. Okay. So finding deals. A lot of you are looking for deals on Trulia and Zillow. This is not where you find real estate deals. You have to understand that there is a difference between a real estate listing and a real estate deal. What are we looking for, y'all? What are we looking for? Real estate listings or real estate deals? Okay. You think real estate deals hit websites? People, Jullien, what websites do you go to for your real estate deals? There are none. There are none. How do you think I find my deals? I find them through relationships. They're called off-market deals. They never hit a website. See, mass marketed listings regularly command a 30% premium to off-market deals. Why would I want to pay a 30% premium on a $300,000 property? Why? I don't. So you have to have multiple real estate agents. I know my real estate agents in here, they're going to be mad at me. I have multiple real estate agents. I have wholesalers, contractors, lenders, owners, friends, family. I have 66 people in my real estate Rolodex here in New Orleans who are looking for property for me at all times. When they see something for sale or they hear something for sale, who do they call first? They call me. This is how I get deals before they ever hit Trulia or Zillow. See, a lot of y'all are on Trulia and Zillow. You over here hearting stuff and putting it, oh, that's cute. I'm going to put that in my folder. And it's Tuesday and you're like, oh, I'm going to come back to this on Saturday after I get off the corporate plantation. And you come back to it on Saturday, and what are the two words under the listing? What are the two words under the listing? Under contract, pending, sold. You're like, oh man, there's so many cash buyers out here. They're beating me out. No, they're not beating you out. You just don't know how to play the game. You just don't know how to play the game. You don't know how to move fast and aggressively enough. I'm over here training people how to move fast and aggressively. You were looking at it on Tuesday. My offer was in on Wednesday morning before you even left for the corporate plantation. And you thought you were going to come back on Saturday and be able to make a decision? This is not how this game works. You simply don't know how to play the game. How about you learn how to play the game instead of complaining about all these external things? The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. You didn't know how to run the numbers and evaluate that deal, so you waited. And this is why you keep losing and keep getting burned. There have been deals on your plate. You just didn't move fast enough. And then you want to blame the market, and you want to blame your lender, and you want to blame cash buyers, and you want to blame white folks, you want to blame all these people, but you didn't look in the mirror and say, oh, I just didn't understand the game. I need to actually improve how I play the game. There's other people playing the game at a high level who are able to make offers within 10 minutes of seeing a deal. And I'm not. This is why I get beat out. All right. So I have off-market deals coming to me every single day. Instagram, Facebook, email, okay, text messages. All right. So this is one of my students. Gabrielle said, congratulations, Ronique. Did you find this deal on Zillow? He said, no, I found it through a real estate financial broker who knew a wholesaler. Ronique got this property for $23,000. He's putting $45,000 into it. It's a duplex, and it'll be worth $175,000. He's literally about to step into $100,000 in equity because of what I taught him. All because he found an off-market deal. All right. So this is the power of what I'm teaching you. You cannot just rely on a real estate agent. A real estate agent is not enough. You need a real estate advisor. Why would you rely on a real estate agent? Most real estate agents are in the business of selling single-family homes to American dreamers. Most real estate agents don't know how to calculate cash-on-cash returns. Do you realize that cash-on-cash return is the number one most important metric of success in a multifamily real estate deal? And guess what, y'all? It is not on the real estate exam. All my agents that are here, is cash-on-cash return on the real estate exam? All the agents that are here, is cash-on-cash return on the real estate exam? Look at the chat, y'all. They're literally telling you it is not on the exam. So how can a real estate agent that does not know how to calculate cash-on-cash return let you know if something is a deal or not? Just because a real estate agent calls it a real estate deal doesn't mean it's a deal. They're just saying that it's really a real estate listing. And on top of that, why would you give the biggest financial decision of your life over to a real estate agent who does not have the wealth that you desire? Why would you give over the biggest financial decision of your life to a real estate agent who does not have the wealth that you desire? This is not a place where you can just hire your friend who got their license yesterday. This is not that. Okay, this is not that. If you want your friend who just started their baking business to bake your kid's cake for the birthday, that's fine. This is not where you just hire a friend who happened to get their license last week. I only work with agents who know how to calculate cash-on-cash return and who own multifamily real estate themselves. Okay, so when you're evaluating a multifamily real estate deal, it's different than buying single-family real estate. When you're buying single-family real estate, is how much do we get approved for? Okay, how much is the home? And do we like it? Yes or no? Those are three decisions, three factors. When you're buying multifamily real estate, there's actually 23 numbers that you need to know to evaluate a real estate deal. This is the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer. It's a financial model that I've developed that I use to evaluate every single real estate deal that I do. And I know where to find the 23 numbers, okay? How they impact the deal, where to plug them in. And the financial model down here in the lower right, it literally tells me whether I should purchase or pass on the deal. Okay, the financial model does. I don't make emotional decisions when it comes to multifamily real estate. It is purely economic. Purely economic. Okay, you miss one single number on the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer, and you can literally step into a bad deal. And if you step into a bad deal, you're going to be underwater for 5 to 10 years trying to get back out. You're going to have to wait until it appreciates enough for you to release it and sell and go start over again. So you do not want to make mistakes on this, okay? So I know how to evaluate deals in less than 10 minutes. I text my agent the price that works for me, and via Dotloop or some online signature platform, I'm able to sign a purchase agreement and my offer is in before you even left for work. This is how you have to learn how to play the game. So you also need to develop what I call the 4 eyes of real estate, okay? The 4 eyes of real estate are eyes for the market, okay? Eyes for the neighborhood, eyes for the property, and eyes for the deal. Eyes for the market means, what do you look for when you go into a new market? Okay. States are not markets. Cities or counties. What do you look for when you go into it? What do you look for statistically? And what do you look for with your actual 2 eyes? Then you have to have eyes for the neighborhood. Okay. I've identified 33 signs of gentrification. You want to buy in a neighborhood that has 10 to 15 signs of gentrification and is moving towards 33. Okay. Do you want to buy in a neighborhood that has all 33 signs of gentrification? Yes or no? Yes or no? Do you want to buy in a neighborhood that has all 33 signs of gentrification? No. No. It is too late. See, I see some yeses in there. No, you do not. You want to buy in a neighborhood that has 10 to 15 is moving towards 33. When I bought in Brooklyn, does anybody know what Brooklyn was called when I bought in Brooklyn? It was called Crooklyn. It was called Do or Die Bed-Stuy. That's where I actually bought real estate, in a place called Do or Die Bed-Stuy. But I saw what was happening. I saw the wave coming from Manhattan, and I knew that I would eventually catch that wave. And that's what I've been able to ride up $400,000. Name a stock that you made $400,000 off of that you've also been able to live in and also pays you monthly dividends. Name a stock that you've been able to live in, pays you monthly dividends, and has put you up $400,000. Name a cryptocurrency that you've been able to live in, has paid you monthly dividends, and you've been able to live in. Oh, you can live in your Tesla? You living in your Tesla and your Model Y? All right, cool. Then I have to have eyes for the property. This is the multifamily real estate investor workbook. And in here, I have a worksheet called Hidden Value and Hidden Cost. You literally take this into the property with you when you're going to open house, 40 signs of hidden value, 30 signs of hidden cost, and you literally just check them off. These are all my mental models. I know them up here, but I put them into a system to make it as easy as possible for you to execute on what I'm teaching. You keep this in your car, in your purse, in your backpack, in your briefcase. You keep this with you whenever you are actually out looking at real estate, right? And then finally, you have to have eyes for the deals. There are typically 3 ways to structure any real estate deal, and you need to know which one is best given the property that you found, all right? So assets over liabilities. What is an asset, okay? According to Robert Kiyosaki, and I know he said some foul things about our community, but his information in terms of financial literacy is accurate, okay? He's on point. This book changed my life. An asset has value, produces income, or appreciates, and has a ready market. Assets put money into your pocket. Please let me know, at what point does a single family home put money into your pocket, y'all? At what point does a single family home put money into your pocket? When you sell. And then when you sell where you live. Okay? It doesn't. It doesn't. Okay? So single family home is not an asset. It is not an asset. All right? In fact, ultimately what we want is we want financial freedom. That's what you all put. You want financial freedom. And financial freedom is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living. Right now, many of you have active income, right? Meaning that you're trading time for money. And some of you have some very high active incomes, and that's great, okay? But if something happens to you and you stop working, what happens to your income? It goes to 0. Passive income means that you can stop working and all of your needs will still be met. This is what financial freedom is, okay? So you have to understand the difference between active and passive income, and the easiest form of passive income for you to get right now at a leveraged capacity would be you stepping into multifamily real estate, okay? We want more passive income, right? So if I told you I found an ATM machine that would give you $1,090 every single month in passive income, all you have to do is pay $10,500 one time. Would you give up or go get the money? Would you give up or go get the money? I found an ATM machine that'll pay you $1,090 every single month. All you have to do is pay $10,500 one time. Would you give up or go get the money? See, some of you don't even know how to evaluate this deal. Some of you are like, okay, I know I get my money back in 10 months and everything will be upside from there, so I'll do it. But some of you don't know the basic equation, the junior high school equation that you need to know to evaluate this deal effectively. What did I say that the stock market returned over the past 20 years? What did the stock market return over the past 20 years? 4.77%, okay? This is the return on investment on this transaction that I just shared with you. Cash on cash return is your annual profit, 1,090 times 12, divided by your initial investment, which is $10,500. This is 124% return. This is a no-brainer. You do this all day, every day. You all should have moved on this quickly. It's too late. You were too slow. You didn't know how to evaluate it. Only the first 10 people got it. Some of y'all are hesitant. I don't know if this is a good deal. This is how you lose real estate deals. This is how you lose real estate deals. Some of you still have not even typed the answer in. because you did not know how to do the basic math. Okay. So let me show you my ATM machine. It does not look like the one at your bank or the bodega. Here's my ATM machine, this duplex that I control here in New Orleans, $300,000, 3.5% down is $10,500, $3,200 in rent. Okay. The mortgage is $1,259. The taxes and insurance are $335. The CapEx repair reserve and vacancy rate is $515. Okay. And the cash flow is $1,090 every single month. This is it. This is my ATM machine. And I have 15 of them. You want to see the rent check? Here's a rent check from December right here. $3,200 every single month from this property. Okay. So this is what you need in order to get free. And I can teach you exactly how to do that through multifamily real estate. Answer me this. How is you waiting to get into real estate going to help you? How is you waiting to get into real estate going to help you? As you wait, prices are only going to go up. Rents are only going to go up, which makes it harder for you to save. And prices are only going to go up, which makes it harder for you to buy. And literally, the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be for you to get into this game. And it may reach a point where you never, ever own real estate, multifamily real estate, because people like me will just continue to buy it up because you are still relying on your active income to try to get in the game and you don't know how to evaluate deals. So you keep getting beat out and beat out and beat out and beat out and beat out. And you realize that big corporations are starting to buy multifamily real estate. Big corporations are starting to buy multifamily real estate. So you're not even just competing against individuals anymore. You are now going to soon have to start competing against larger entities with bigger pockets. You have to get in the game now. All right. Now, one of the most valuable things on earth is a piece of earth. One of the most valuable things on earth is a piece of earth. We already talked about the importance of land. Here's what Chinua Achebe said. He said, when the missionaries came to Africa, they had the Bible and we had the land. They said, let us pray. We closed our eyes. And when we opened them, we had the Bible and they had the land. We got duped. We got duped. I want you to have God and land. But our land was stolen. And so now we have to get it back. And we all know that there's a gap between the rich and the poor. And it used to be that if you went to the right school, got good grades, got the right job, met the right people, you get from one side to the other. But that gap between the rich and the poor is getting wider and wider and wider. And soon it's going to get to a point where no matter what you do, no matter how smart you are, no matter how hard you work, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get from one side to the other. All right. Now, when I talk about multifamily real estate, this is a long-term game. All right. So I want to show you the power of numbers. Okay. This is the duplex that I control here in New Orleans, one of my properties. And did you all know that this is $1 million home? This is $1 million home. I'm going to show it to you. Total change in net worth over the next 30 years. The cash flow from this property over 30 years will be $638,000. Okay. Then the tax savings on this property will be over $250,000, $278,000. The principal pay down will be $225,000 by the tenants. And then the appreciation on this property, if it appreciates by 1% every single year for the next 4 years, will be $104,000. You add all that up, that's a $1.2 million shift in net worth from my last name off of one property. You are looking at $1 million home. It does not look like $1 million home. It will never be featured on HGTV, but this is $1 million home. And when you're able to see it for the as an asset and as a business, instead of looking at it for the aesthetics and the beauty, it will change your perspective. Okay. So a lot of people out here talking about secure the bag. Here's how you do that. You do that by securing a building, and that will secure your housing. It will secure your retirement, and it will secure your legacy. So I know there are many different ways for you to get involved in real estate. There's wholesaling you're hearing a lot about, fixing and flipping, vacation rentals, Airbnb. Where I can do a deep dive with you is in multi-family real estate. This is where I can teach you and guide you on the above ground railroad to rent mortgage freedom faster, safer, and than anyone else in the world. I don't know personally anyone who has helped more people close on multifamily homes in our community than me. If you know of somebody, please let me know. But there has been nobody that I'm aware of that has helped more people close on multifamily real estate than myself. And so if I rock, can I share an opportunity with you all to consider? If I lived up to the expectations and you're in your time here with me, can I share an opportunity for those of you to consider, for those of you who are serious, those of you who want to close on a property within the next 90 days, by the end of the year, even if it took you a year? Can I share an opportunity with you to consider? If you're not interested, if you got this, go ahead, do your thing, use what I share with you, and good luck to you succeeding. There's many different pitfalls along the way. I want to make sure that you don't make any mistakes. But for those of you who are interested, please allow me to share. All right. So I shared with you earlier my portfolio. My portfolio keeps growing and expanding. And so what I want to do is I want to invite you to be part of a new program that actually not a new program. It's a revamp program that Dr. Watkins and I have called the Black Real Estate Investors Group. All right. And with the Black Real Estate Investors Group, I'm giving you access to my signature program, which is the Multifamily Master Plan. I've helped countless people. Actually, no, not countless. I actually know that I've helped 193 people close on multifamily real estate. And I'm just going to show you some of them. You have low income on bad credit. I already showed you Gloria, right? She got into a triplex in Philadelphia by only paying title fees. Who also used NACA? The Grove family. They bought this fourplex in Los Angeles, California, right near USC. Okay. You already bought a single family home. I already told you 625, 625, 625. This is Michelle. She decided to sell her single family home and buy this fourplex in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Chantel also decided to sell her single family home to upgrade to this fourplex in California. For the single family buyers, the 625 strategy, I've laid it all out for you in the multifamily master plan. It's in a module for you called single family homeowner, 6 ways to escape if you did, and 5 ways to use FHA twice. When you join the program, I encourage you to go there first and then go back to the top of the program and follow the steps. You live in an expensive market like California or New York. I have people who have closed in all those markets. Fernando closed on this property in Los Angeles. Darren and Aisha closed in Providence, Rhode Island. James closed in Boston on a 3-family, and Roxbury Velveeta closed on this fourplex in Los Angeles, California. Natasha closed on a triplex in the Bronx. And Dwight and Rhonda closed on a duplex in Napa, wine country. And Misha closed on this fourplex in Los Angeles. And the Pettigrews closed on this triplex in Brooklyn, New York. I don't care where it is, the methodology that I teach works. I don't care what market you're in, okay? You're a veteran. Yes, veterans can use the best loan in America, the VA loan. You can use it for multifamily, and you can use it more than once, okay? So here's Demetrius, one of our youngest students. He closed on this fourplex in Killeen, Texas. Terrence, he bought this fourplex in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Gary bought this property in 6 months of joining. Alan closed on this triplex in Baltimore, Maryland. Let me read Alan's story really quickly. Alan said, hey, Jullien. Hello, Jullien. I just want to thank you for the great service you provide. I learned a great deal from your detailed instruction in the past 3 months during the pandemic, and I recently closed on a multifamily property in Baltimore, Maryland on 6/17/20. The property cash flows and is in an appreciating market with built-in equity as well. I would not have had the confidence to handle the deal like such a boss without the expert knowledge provided in your course. I felt like I had the answers to the test every step along the way. Thanks again, brother, for the gateway to freedom and generational wealth. I will certainly pay it forward. So that's Alan's story. And what's beautiful about Alan's story is that he proposed to his significant other on the 3rd floor of that building on August 7th. And then they got married on October 17th. And then they gave birth to a child at the end of January. Okay. So he started with key rings first, then wedding ring. You hear that? Key rings first, then wedding ring. Some of y'all are doing it backwards, trying to follow the American dream. You're a single mom, we off that. This is Robin. She closed on this duplex here in New Orleans. Nicole closed on this fourplex in Chicago. Originally priced $362,000. She got it for $340,000. Okay. You need to invest from a distance. That's okay. Dante lives in Oakland, California, bought this duplex here in his hometown of New Orleans. Spencer lives in Texas, closed on the home in his hometown of Cleveland, Ohio. The Powell family, they live in Oakland, California, closed on a duplex in Detroit, Michigan. Jason lives in San Antonio, Texas, closed on a duplex here in New Orleans. And Jetro, he went to University of Florida and bought this fourplex in Gainesville, though he does not live there. Tyler and Olivia don't live in New Orleans, but closed on this fourplex here. And Elena and Aaron, they live in Los Angeles, closed on a duplex in Detroit, Michigan. Okay. You have more than one property already and are ready to scale up. Ronique bought this property in Birmingham, Alabama in less than 30 days. This is how I know you all can get there faster if you're ready to go. Bought this fourplex in Birmingham, showed you his other property that he is doing the BRRRR strategy on this duplex that's going to have $100,000 in equity in it when he's done. Sienna and Matthew, they are working in Connecticut. This was their first property. They closed on that in the 5th month of being in the program. 6 months of being in the program, they closed on another one here. All right. Jackie lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, closed on a triplex and a single family from a distressed seller. And she just closed on another set of duplexes as she prepares for retirement. Right. Yo, this is not just about you having one property. Ultimately, to get free, you're going to need a portfolio. As I said earlier, you need a house. You need 2 multifamilies to pay for your single family. You need another 2 multifamilies to pay for your 2 cars. You need a multifamily to pay for your grocery bill. You need a multifamily to pay for all your subscriptions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Look, y'all, I don't just help you get one property. Julius and his significant other and his wife have 17 apartments, y'all. 17. My wife and I are not U.S. citizens. See, y'all can come at me with every excuse that you have. My wife and I are not U.S. citizens, not yet. But we're very grateful to announce that we have closed on 6 multifamily, 6-unit multifamily today. It's such an honor that we now provide decent, affordable housing to 17 American families, 17 doors across 3 states, and looking forward to doing more. Fast forward a few days, my wife will turn 40. And we've been closed on 8 rental deals worth $2.65 billion in actual cost. And we've closed on 2 deals so far in August, making it a special birthday present. I'm just trying to help you get your first property. But ultimately, what you want is a portfolio. Oh, this is not just Julius, y'all. Jimmy has 21 doors. Okay. He said, we started the multifamily movement program, and now we are up to 21 doors, looking to purchase another 4 in North Carolina. Thanks to Jullien, I've been able to get my wife to take a chance. Thanks, Jullien. Our goal was 50 doors, and we are halfway there in 1.4 years. Not 14, 1.4 years, 21 doors in 1.4 years, controlling over $1.9 million of real estate. Didn't need an MBA to get the next to the million. Come on, y'all. If they can get 21 and 17, you don't think you can get one? Yes, you can at least get one. All right. So you want to do a rehab? I got people doing rehab. Sandra bought this duplex in Kansas City, Missouri, $15,000. Malika did a single family foreclosure rehab in Baton Rouge. Lena's BRRRR this duplex. Okay. No multifamilies where you live. That's all right. Jay closed on a single family with $8,000 in equity and still rents at a great rate. And look, y'all, I got more closings. April, she closed on this fourplex in Virginia Beach, Virginia. She Airbnbs the other 3 units. She's making $10,000 per month in Airbnb. $10,000 a month. Some of y'all will be free off of that one purchase, off that one, fully free, not just rent and mortgage free, but fully free off of one deal. If you just follow the blueprint, I can go on, y'all. Look at to the left of the screen. Look how many success stories I have, and this is not even all of them. All right, this is not even all of them, and I'm looking to get to 300. After I get to 300, what did Fat Joe say? What Fat Joe say? Today's prices are not yesterday's prices. Today's prices are not yesterday's prices. Once I get to 300, it's floodgates. It's floodgates. So look, y'all. Let me show you how and why my students are so successful. Because this is not just some course. Some of you have signed up for online courses and it's just a whole bunch of information. This is not how this program is structured. The course is the first part, right? Scripture says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your what? Of your mind. So I need to download everything that I know about multifamily real estate into your mind, okay? So I'm gonna do that first. But once we do that, I'm gonna pair you with one of our 2 lenders that lend nationally. I've identified 2 of the best mortgage brokers in the entire country, and they have the best terms and the best rates, and I trust them. You don't have to walk blindly into some bank and have them get over on you with some predatory loan. I have found the best 2 mortgage brokers that loan all across the country, and you'll get paired with one of them. From there, you'll get paired with our network of certified real estate agents. These are agents who actually understand the multifamily master plan methodology. They know the difference between a listing and a deal. So you're not just working with some random person who is in the business of selling single family homes to American dreamers and will sell you whatever it is that you desire. No, they will understand the game. For those of you who are real estate agents that are here, when you go through the program and you complete it, you actually can become a certified agent and serve all of the students that we have in that market and benefit from those commissions, okay? So this is what we are looking for. We are a network and a community, all right? Then of course, step 4 is we share deals, off-market deals with one another via a platform I'm gonna share with you in just a second, all right? So a little bit about the program. I know some of you are ready. I know some of you I see you asking, I want you to know what you're getting into. See, that's the issue. Some of you are ready to rush into things, right? Some of you without full understanding. Even now, do I want you to be in the program? Yes. But some of you are ready to rush into things without full understanding. I cannot have you rush into real estate without full understanding of what you're getting into. That is the issue. That is the issue. So be patient, be informed, be educated, and so that you can make a confident decision going forward. Does that sound fair? Does that make sense, y'all? Okay, cool. I'm not trying to hold you up, right? I want to go enjoy my evening too, all right? But I want you to be informed. I want you to know what it is that you are stepping into, because some of y'all are not ready. Some of y'all are not ready. And even if you put down a payment, I'm going to have to ask you to leave because your mindset is not there. You're not ready to do the work. I don't have time for dead weight. I do not have time for dead weight. Harriet Tubman, if she knew you weren't ready, you were going to get left. You were going to get left. All right. So let me say, give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. 5 modules: finance it, find it, finalize it, fix it, and fill it. All right. So in the financing module, I'm going to show you no to low money down programs and grants you can use to get started without a huge savings. What exactly are lenders looking for? The key numbers and ratios to be aware of. Quick credit fixes to improve your credit score and keep your interest rates down and save tens of thousands of dollars. FHA loans debunk the dark side that most people don't tell you beyond it being 3.5% down. Why you must shop for lenders first and not the home, and how to get the lowest interest rates possible by doing so. And why you should go as big as possible on your first multifamily home as long as it makes sense, okay? Now, remember, I told you, these lenders are not your friends. These lenders are not your friends. This is what Sandrika said. And she closed on our property in Memphis. She said, a couple of lenders tried the okie doke on me, specifically with leaving out prepaid costs, offering more money and lowering rate, but doubling all other fees. Listen to me, y'all. The lender with the lowest interest rate does not mean the best deal. The lender with the lowest interest rate does not mean the best deal, because there are all kinds of other fees that they can stack on up front to deceive you. Okay? Did everybody hear me on that? Please, please, please type heard if you heard me on that. The lender with the lowest interest rate does not mean the best deal. Okay? They will not tell you that. You have to know how to compare lenders against each other. All right? Then find it. How to find great deals in your backyard. Literally, my first deal was literally in my backyard in Brooklyn, New York. I was renting on Fulton Street, and I ended up buying a property that shared a backyard with the property that I was renting. 33 signs of gentrification. I will tell you exactly what those are so that you buy right before prices rise and not after they do. How to use the internet and specific websites you need to know to find and do due diligence. I'm not talking Trulia, Zillow, or Redfin. Those are not the websites I use to find deals, okay? How to evaluate a deal in another state if you're investing from a distance, why the asking price doesn't matter, and the real metrics that make a deal worth it or not, and then the people and tools that you need in place to get off-market deals coming to you daily. Finalize it. I'm going to show you the 23 numbers that you need to know to evaluate whether to purchase or pass on a deal. Remember earlier I showed you the purchase or pass deal analyzer. I'm going to actually give that to you when you join the multifamily master plan program. Okay. Now I'm going to show you how to evaluate a deal in 10 minutes or less so that you can get your offer in before anyone else. The 4 most overlooked numbers that can make or break a deal. How to never pay at or above asking price and get it reduced to whatever you desire without the seller walking away. And the 5 ways to exit any deal if the numbers aren't adding up or something doesn't feel right. Okay. Fix it. The 10 types of contractors that you need to have and trust in and on speed dial before you make your offer. Yes, y'all. You actually need your team of contractors before you even make your offer. Why? Because the property inspection is one of your greatest points of leverage, and you need them to be part of that process. So I'm going to show you how to vet that team and everything you must do and look for during the inspection process. First things first, what are the first things you need to do once you have the keys? Hint, it is not move in. And then fix it or nix it. Well, you should fix immediately and what to wait for later once cash starts flowing. Then finally, fill it. You're a landlord now, how to avoid those 3 a.m. phone calls and manage a building without always being there, how to find great tenants fast if you have vacant units that need to be filled, what you need, who you need, and where to post, free download of my sample lease agreement, and then long distance investing secrets, how to manage your investments without being there, and the top 20 real estate markets to invest in. Okay. So again, single family buyers, I have that module that's specifically for you. So normally the multifamily master plan course by itself would be $2,499. But what we want to do is we want to invite you to be part of a program that we have called the Black Real Estate Investor Group. The Black Real Estate Investor Group, committed to creating freedom and generational wealth through real estate. I'm on a mission to help 300 people and families acquire a cash flow positive multifamily home within 6 months of being pre-qualified. I'm already at 193. Once I get to 300, we're taking this mass market, and today's price will not be, yesterday's price will not be today's price. Okay. It will not. All right. So we're getting closer and closer and closer. I have students who are closing every single week. In fact, I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you right now. I got students that are closing every single week. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. It is literally going to say, look at this. Dwayne Nurse closed. I don't know if y'all can see that. 11 hours ago. 11 hours. Can y'all see that? 11 hours ago, closing, right? 12 hours ago, Quentin and his wife, Brooklyn, New York. 12 hours ago. We have people closing weekly, y'all. Weekly. This is Brooklyn. People say it can't happen in Brooklyn. Right here, 12 hours ago. Okay. Let go of your limiting beliefs. All right. So the way this program is structured, right? This program is not just on the computer. All right. Only 20% of this program is actually on the computer. Yes. You remember that scene from The Matrix where they plugged Neo into the system and he got the download of like the martial arts skills? That's what I need to do for you. Okay. But I'm going to do that as quickly as possible through the multifamily master plan. But only 40% of this program will actually be on your phone, talking to agents, wholesalers, lenders, contractors, owners, friends, family, right? You're going to have to be in contact with people. Then another 40% of this program is actually going to be in your shoes and in your car, actually visiting properties in new neighborhoods. Real estate is a contact sport. You have to be in contact with people, then you have to be in contact with properties. Now, how is this program structured? This is different than any other program that you've been part of, okay? At the Black Business School, we do not just believe in the transfer of information, all right? How many of you have a book on your bookshelf that you intended to read to change your life, but you haven't even cracked it open? How many of you have a book on your bookshelf that you intended to read to change some aspect of your life, but you have not even cracked it open? Okay, you ain't got a lie to kick it. Just keep it real with me, okay? How many of you had a body goal to get rid of your gut over the past 12 months, but you still have a gut? You have body goals to get rid of your gut, but you still have a gut. So listen to me. There are all kinds of free recipes on the internet. There's all kinds of free exercises on YouTube, yet you still have your gut. So do you realize that information alone is not the answer to your problem? What will get you to the transformation that you desire is the implementation of the information. And what will help you implement is actually structure and accountability. When people only get information, only 7% of people complete online courses when left up to their own devices. So when you join this program, you are not paying for the information, okay? What you're actually paying for is the structure and the accountability that we provide to make sure that you implement the information. This information is spread out all over the internet. You can find it on blog posts, podcasts, YouTube videos. You can keep trying to duct tape the information together all you want. But the difference in this program and why we have so many results is because we focus on the structure and the accountability to make sure that you implement, okay? The truth will not set you free. A lot of y'all know the truth. A lot of y'all woke and broke. A lot of y'all woke and broke. Y'all can break down the whole system. in a lecture, but you broke because you haven't taken action on what you know. Acting on the truth will set you free. The truth alone will not set you free. Acting on the truth will set you free. That's what makes this program different. We're not just going to send you a stack of folders, binders, and books and a whole bunch of videos and no accountability. Some of you would be at your body goals if you would have hired a personal trainer just for even 3 months. If you would have hired a personal trainer for 3 months, some of y'all would be a lot further along on your journey. Okay? And so the way this program works is that every single week, you will actually have a challenge to do. You will literally have to get up from your computer and go do something. We have our financial house cleaning challenge, our lender shopping challenge, our pre-approval challenge, our real estate agent challenge, our neighborhood knowledge challenge number 1, the deal a day challenge number 1. Then you'll do your real estate team building challenge, and then you'll do the neighborhood challenge and the deal a day challenge over and over and over again until you found your property. Now, how do I hold you accountable? Every single week, we will have our weekly deal room calls. And on our weekly deal room calls, this is where you have to actually publicly announce to the family what you did in the past 7 days to move forward on your goals. This is not some sort of program where you can hide in the back, be on Zoom with your camera off. Nobody knows you. No, that's how you keep slipping through the cracks because nobody knows you. You haven't got intertwined. So we activate what I call positive peer pressure. Okay, where you have to publicly announce what you did over the past 7 days to move forward on your goals in front of the family. Yeah. If you're not ready for that level of accountability, then you're not ready for this program, right? Because you're going to have to show up every single week and show that you made progress. Then from there, we go into our hot seats. Our hot seats are where you can actually step in and actually get coached by me. You sign up for the hot seat, whatever issue you're having, financing issue, finding a deal issue, you need to run the numbers. I will coach you through that right there in front of the family. There is no one-on-one coaching in this program, but I will coach you one-on-one in front of the family. So that's more group coaching. When you're in the hot seat, you're learning and everybody else is learning. When you're observing me coach somebody, you're understanding how I think about real estate because you're going to probably face that same challenge in the future. Okay. Then as we exit that call, you have to create an action plan for the next 7 days. And then we do it again. You have to publicly announce what you did to move forward on your goals. It's cyclical. This is how I make sure. And you know, for some of you, I have to help you get out of your own way. For some of you, I have to help you get out of your own way. But at the end of the day, I can't want it for you more than you want it. How many of you are eager to pay rent or mortgage again? In fact, go get your checkbook and go get your checkbook right now, but don't write a check to me. Go write a check to your bank. Write that next check to your bank and to your landlord and just see how good it feels. Go get your checkbook right now. I don't accept checks, but go get the checkbook right now and start writing that rent check to your landlord or to the bank right now. Just see how good it feels. Ask yourself how you feel writing that. I'm literally giving you a pathway to never, ever, ever have to pay a house for the rest of life. Okay. And so with that, you also get the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer, where I will show you the 23 numbers, where to find them, how to evaluate deals quickly, right? Using the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer, I use this for every single deal I do. When you use the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer, you will never make a mistake on a real estate deal, okay? You forget one single number and you could step into a bad deal, but the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer won't allow you to do that, okay? So you know that you will always be buying right. What does buying right mean? Buying right means that you're stepping into equity, right? That the appraised value of the home is $400,000, but your offer price was $380,000. So you're stepping in $20,000 equity, that there's at least a 12% cash on cash return, and there's definite appreciation potential based on the signs of gentrification. This is what it means to buy right. I don't just need you to go on Zillow tomorrow and just buy any multifamily home. You could be stepping into a bad deal. You have to learn how to buy right. You will also get the multifamily movement real estate investor workbook that I showed you earlier. Everything that's in here. You go look for this and you can't find this anywhere else. Okay. You can't find this anywhere else. So this is available to you when you join, right? It'll break down everything that you need to succeed in multifamily real estate investing along with the online program, right? You also get a ticket to Generational Wealth Conference. Our Generational Wealth Conference is our in-person, live or live stream conference every single year where Dr. Watkins and I, we share all of our wealth building strategies from stocks to crypto, to entrepreneurship, to life insurance, to taxes, to real estate, all right? You get a ticket worth $599 to come to Generational Wealth Conference. It is absolutely amazing. Okay. And so you get to be part of that. This is where our family comes together annually. All right. This is a movement in real life. This is a movement in real life. This is 200 of us at Generational Wealth Con last year. No, 2 years ago. Okay. That's me right there. That's my daughter right there. And listen, y'all, for those of you who have families, because of the sacrifices that I've made over the past 8 years, when my daughter, she just had a birthday, when she turns 36 years old, she will have $25,000 per month in passive income for the rest of her life. I'm going to repeat, because of the sacrifices that I've made in a short period of time, 8 years, she will have $25,000 per month in passive income for the rest of her life at the age of 36. And that is if I stopped right now. And I have no intention of stopping. So we think that buying our kids PlayStations and video games and clothes, we think that that's love for their birthday and Christmas and things of that nature. That's a form of love, but there's a higher version of love. It's sacrificing and actually getting them assets, buying them assets and income. That's the real demonstration of love. All right. And that's what I'm teaching you to do right here and right now. So when you put everything together, the multifamily master plan, the 50 weeks, weekly deal room calls, the purchase of past deal analyzer, and the generational wealth conference ticket, that's $5,497 for everything that I'm offering you right now. Okay. That we put together. Now, let me ask you this really quickly. Would it be worth $5,497 one time to eliminate your monthly rent expense or single family home mortgage forever? Please let me know in chat. Please let me know in chat. Okay, that's a no-brainer, right? Now, but would it be worth $5,497 if all it did was help you acquire one cash flow positive multifamily home within the next year? Let's say it didn't take you 90 days. Let's say it took you more than 6 months or 9 months or even 12 months. Would it still be worth it? I just showed you how one property is going to lead to a $1.2 million shift in generational wealth for my last name. Okay. Would it be worth $5,497 if the only thing you learned was how to buy right so that you never ended up underwater on a real estate deal thanks to the purchase of past deal analyzer? You never made a mistake. You know how many people made mistakes in 2008, 2009? They bought into real estate, but they didn't know what they were doing. They ended up in a predatory loan and now they're foreclosed and they're not able to get back into the game until now. Over 10 years later, they're just now coming out of bankruptcy and getting back into the game because they didn't know what they were doing. This is a huge transaction and you want to make sure that you do it right. Okay. This is not like buying a car. This is way bigger than that. Okay. So I know some of you are eager to get in, right? So let me share with you your options. The first option is going to feel free and it's going to cost you the most. It's going to cost you the most in terms of time, money, and mistakes. And that is you do nothing. That is you do nothing. Now, earlier, I gave you a hypothetical situation, right? Where I said, would you give up or go get the money, right? When we're talking about the ATM machines and you were all talking a good game. Some of you didn't know what to say, right? Some of you didn't know how to calculate the basic cash on cash return on that. But those of you who did type in, you like, I'll go get that money. I'll do anything for my seed by any means necessary, talking that Malcolm X, talking all that, right? But now you're at a real life crossroads. And there are some people right here, right now, whose lives, the financial future of their lives and their family will be changed because they showed up here on this webinar and they decided to take action. Okay. So some of you are going to say, no, man, I understand that. And you're going to stay on the same financial path that you've been on. I don't know what's going to save you. Your financial windfall, the lottery, maybe hitting on some Bitcoin. What's going to save you? Right. Or can you make a decision right now and the most proven business model, the most proven subscription model of all time, better than Netflix, better than Amazon Prime, monthly payments forever for the rest of your life with multifamily real estate. I can take you there right now if you desire to go. Okay. So the question is, will you give up or go get the money? Now, in terms of going and getting the money, you're giving up the money every single day. Every single month, you're giving up the money. On the left-hand column in the blue, you can find your rent payment or your mortgage payment right now. Let's say it's $1,200 a month. You don't take action right now, that's going to be another $14,000 L, another $14K L 12 months from now. 5 years from now, that's going to be another $72K L. 10 years from now, that's going to be $144,000 L. Okay? Because you decided not to take action when I was literally showing you a pathway to you achieving rent and mortgage freedom. For some of you, as quickly as 90 days. All right. So for those of you who are ready, your option to join right now is for $2,499. $2,499. Literally, all I'm asking for is equivalent of 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage expense to put you in position to never, ever, 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 ever have to pay rent or mortgage again. That's all I'm asking for. Now, when you do the one pay of $2,499, you save $1,089. You will literally save $1,089. The link is theblackreigroup.com. I just put it in chat. It is theblackreigroup.com. $2,499, not $5,497. You all agreed that that was what you would be willing to pay, that it would be worth more than that. I'm giving it to you for half of that, more than half of that. Okay. All I'm asking for is the equivalent of 1 to 2 months of rent or mortgage expense to put you in position to never have to pay rent or mortgage again. Again, look, you don't take action, you're going to take an L. $14,000 L, $72,000 L, $144,000 L. Let me just put it this way. If I ask you to add up how much money you paid in rent or mortgage expense, how much would that be? How long have you been renting? How much interest have you paid to the bank? Some of you who own single families don't even know how much interest has gone to the bank. It's all there in your amortization table. You could literally calculate how much you paid. I'm showing you a way to never pay interest to the bank or rent ever again. All right. Some people are saying that's too much, Jullien, that's too expensive. Well, rent is expensive. Interest to the bank is expensive. If you don't do this, then what is your balance sheet and your net worth going to look like a year from now? It's going to look worse. You're still going to be coughing up money to other people. Rent is expensive. This is not expensive. This is expansive. Rent is expensive. I hope y'all are getting this. All right. Now, for those of you who don't have $2,499 right now, and here's the reason. What's the number one reason you don't have $2,499 right now? What is the number one reason you don't have $2,499 right now? Thank you. It's rent. It's rent. So if we could literally get rid of the biggest expense in your life forever, your financial situation would change dramatically. It would change dramatically. Most of you are missing zeros to the left of the decimal and commas in your bank account because of one thing, rent. I'm not asking you to go pick the best cryptocurrency and hope that it pops. I'm not asking you to go research 50 companies and all of their balance sheets and their decisions and track them. I'm not asking you to be a day trader and hope that you pick the right stock. I'm asking you to get rid of the number one expense in your life, which is rent. And I have 193 examples of people who I've helped do that for. There's no luck involved in this. All it is work. But some of you are going to continue to play the lotto and just rely and pray for luck, that you get some financial windfall. All this requires is work. Every strategy you've been applying is luck. All right. So for those of you, how many would join if you had a payment plan? Some of you saying, I don't have it. But so how is it that you don't have it, but you're going to find a way to pay rent next month? You don't have it, but you're going to definitely find a way to pay rent next month. It's not that you don't have it. You have it in you. You just aren't tapping into the creator and the creativity that is in you. Or you just don't want it that bad. You like paying rent. You like paying rent. You always find a way to pay rent on time. But when it comes to paving a new financial future for your family, you don't have it. Your words, your speech, and your actions aren't aligned. And a house divided mentally cannot stand. A house divided mentally cannot stand. Okay? So for those of you who need a payment plan, option number 3 is a monthly payment plan of $499. 6 payments of $499. Okay? 6 payments of $499. You will save $594 when you join on the payment plan of 6 payments of $499. Once you make all the payments, you have lifetime access to the program. Okay? lifetime access to the program. I'm not trying to beat you down. I told you I'm coming from a place of love, and I know some of you are triggered right now. I'm here to lift you up. Why do you think Harriet Tubman, why do you think she had to have a gun? Why do you think Harriet Tubman had a pistol, y'all? To get people out of their own way, to get them beyond their own fear. She had to have something that was more fearful to them than going back, because some of them were ready to turn back and go back to master. I'm not holding a gun to you. All I'm using is words and speech. Because I know that for some of you, this is going to be the last time I see you, unfortunately. And I just want the next time that I see you for you to be better off. All right? So if $499 is not there for you right now, we have one more payment plan, which is only $299 a month. You can do $2,499, save $1,089 total. Or you can do $299 a month for 12 months. It don't get any cheaper than that, y'all. It has to be at a certain point where I keep out all the people who aren't that serious. $299 a month. $299 a month for 12 months. Those are your options. You didn't have $2,499, okay? Didn't have $499 per month, $299 per month to put you in position to never have to pay rent or mortgage again. That's as low as it goes, family. All right? So if you're ready to get on board, go ahead and go to theblackreigroup.com, theblackreigroup.com, and let's do this. All right? So when you go and click that link, you will see the payment options there, right? And on top of that, you get to bring your family with you. You get to bring your family with you. Anybody who's in your household, they get to be on the calls with you. Anybody that's in your household, they get to share your login and go through this program with you. We don't want you to go into this alone. We don't want your house to be divided. We want everybody to be on board. In the same way that you set up on Friday and Saturday to watch Netflix movies together, we want you to be watching JGTV and the weekly deal room calls together as a family on the big screen. We want everybody to get this knowledge and this game in your household. This is not just a real estate program. This is a wealth consciousness building program. Your entire family's mindset will be changed by the information that I teach and I share through this program. The multifamily movement, multifamily real estate is just the first asset that we are buying together. It's just the first asset. The multifamily movement is a movement of multiple families coming together to create regenerational wealth. Multifamily real estate is just the first asset. And so this opportunity to be part of the Black Real Estate Investor Group, which includes the multifamily movement, this is the family that you've needed, because a lot of y'all don't come from wealth. Most of y'all don't come from wealth. And so you actually now get to be part of a chosen family who is all committed to wealth. Everybody in the family is committed to building wealth. You don't have to be the golden child anymore that is lifting up everybody, because many of you, your family will only go as far as you go. And there's nobody there to lift you up, so you will get stuck at you. I'm here to lift you up. And when you get lifted up, guess what? Your entire family gets lifted up. Your entire family gets lifted up. So when you join, in addition to the multifamily master plan and the weekly accountability calls and the purchase of past deal analyzer and the workbook and the generational wealth conference ticket, you're also going to get the Fuel It module. Okay. The Fuel It module is going to show you how I scale my portfolio up. Remember, I don't want you to just have one property. I need everybody to take your eraser and go on your temple and just erase the idea of having one home. That's the American dream. That's what they teach you. I need everybody to erase that idea of just, I just want one house. Erase that. We need a portfolio, not just one property. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to build up your entire portfolio. Right. I already showed you Julius. I already showed you Jimmy. 17 doors, 21 doors. Right. All because of this process. Jimmy in 1.4 years. What's 1.4 years from now? We'd be about 2023. Can you even imagine that for yourself? In 2023, having 21 apartments. Okay. This is what's possible for you. And I'm giving you a demonstration of that. right? You're also going to get my REI Tax Secrets program, which will show you how to minimize your tax bill. Your taxes take about 25% of all your income. But guess what? When you know the tax code related to real estate, it'll allow you to reduce your tax liability. This is not tax evasion. This is tax avoidance by leveraging the laws. I showed you how on one property, I'm going to save $278,000 on taxes over 30 years off one property. Okay. So that's powerful. For those of you who live in some nice markets, I'm going to give you my overnight success Airbnb course to show you how to win with Airbnb. I showed you April earlier. April is earning $10,000 a month via Airbnb. She even had Airbnb folks in the midst of COVID. Okay. So this is the power of what I'm teaching. You're also going to get the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer. Okay. The Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer is the online software. So that spreadsheet that I showed you, I've actually put it into, invested over 5 figures and turned it into an online technology that only my students have access to. All right. And here is where we share deals with one another. This is where you will evaluate all of your deals. Okay. And this is also where you will find members in your market. This is how you will connect with your family. This is the Orlando market. Look at these beautiful people in the Orlando market. Camille said, shout out to Daffy for sending me a sweet deal in our market this morning and helping me run the numbers on it. There's truly strength in numbers and community. This is how we move. We share deals with one another. And on top of that, y'all, we connect as a family. This is not just some online program. These are our market meetups. How many of you have been craving to connect with other people, like-minded folks? These are our market meetups. This is Atlanta. This is St. Louis, Baton Rouge, the Bay Area, Dallas, Fort Worth, New Jersey, Brooklyn. We are connecting as a family all over the country. This is not just some online program. This is a family and a movement that you now get to be part of. Okay? So for those of you who have credit issues, we are also giving you the credit mastery course with Castley Johnson. Okay? This will help you boost your credit score by 50 to 150 points. So that'll put you in position to get finance and also decrease your interest rate, right? But if your credit is low, you can still go through NACA. NACA does not take credit into consideration, but I want your credit to be in good position for any other thing that you may need to finance along the way, all right? And for those of you who want additional assets, you're also going to get the business acquisition program by Ace Chapman. Okay. I'm in the process of seeking to acquire businesses as well. These are other forms of assets, and usually real estate comes with businesses. And you're also going to get the introduction to the power of money by Dr. Watkins, which is a program at the Black Business School that is worth $1,299. Okay. So when you put in all those bonuses that we are offering you to make sure that you can create what we like to call regenerational wealth, right? And help you enter into the asset class, not the middle class, not the upper class, but the class that is free, the class that no longer trades time for money. All of these things we're putting together for you. This is worth $9,734, and you can literally get access to it right now for $2,499 or as low as $299 for 12 months. All right. Look, you say you don't know where to start in real estate. I'm giving you the A to Z plan in order to do that with the multifamily master plan. You say you feel alone on the journey. You're getting our weekly deal room calls. You have the Facebook group. You have our market meetups. You have the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer. You get to bring your family on the journey with you. You're not that good at math. You don't have to be, because all the numbers are baked into the Purchaser Pass Deal Analyzer. All you have to do is know what the 23 numbers are, where to find them, and plug them in, and it will do the calculations for you. Okay. You need help with your money beyond real estate investing. That's what the Generational Wealth Conference is for. And that's what Dr. Watkins' introduction to the stock market, the power of money is for. All of that is here so that you understand how to use money in the right way, right? Remember, cash is the lowest yielding asset in the world. 0.03% interest in your savings account. If you were saving money, then you don't understand money. If you are saving money, you do not understand money. Your money is supposed to be out in the world working for you every single day. You are allowing your money to be lazy. Okay. Then you've already bought a single family home. I'm giving you the Fuel It module to I've scaled my portfolio up, how we can take that 625 strategy and actually still have you become a real estate investor. Do you need an LLC? No, you do not need an LLC. I will show you how to set up your accounting though, so that you can still get all the tax deductions and write-offs that multifamily real estate offers that single family real estate does not. Prices are too high where you're at. That's what the Airbnb Overnight Success Program is for. That will actually help you increase your rents by 3x, right? And let's say you can get $1,200 of rent for a regular market rate tenant. With Airbnb, you could get $3,600 for a unit. And then if you feel your credit score is bad or low, it might prevent you from getting financed. One, you can go to NACA, but two, we also get the Credit Mastery program with Cassidy Johnson. All right. So when you put all of that together, again, it is not $9,734. You can get it right now for $299 per month for 12 months. You have a 30-day money back guarantee. It costs you nothing to try. It costs you nothing to get in. Come get a sense of what this community is about. Come experience the curriculum. Come experience the weekly deal room calls. You can start for $299. You have 30-day money back guarantee. That is how we operate at the Black Business School. It costs you nothing to come in and try and see if this works for you, right? I think you're going to be blown away when you get in and become part of this family. You won't want to leave because some of you have been craving to be part of a family like this. And I don't know if you know, anybody know Fortune Builders? Anybody know Fortune Builders? How much does Fortune Builders charge for this information, y'all? How much does Fortune Builders charge for this information? Welcome, Karen. Fortune Builders charges $30,000 to $50,000 for what we are teaching you. I've been to their hotel meetings here in New Orleans, right? I've seen their programs and their layouts, right? And here's the thing. I actually believe that Fortune Builders knowledge is worth $30,000 to $50,000 because my real estate alone has appreciated by $1.3 million. Would you pay $50,000 to learn something that could have $1 million in appreciation? Yes. But what I saw with Fortune Builders is that they charge so much, just like undergrad, they charge so much for the education that they left you nothing to take action. So we decided to make this affordable for our community. Some of you think this is expensive. This is affordable. This is inexpensive. In fact, like I said, we will be raising our prices, okay? We wanted to make the education less expensive so that you still had money in your pocket to take action and actually make the investment. Fortune Builders charges $30,000 to $50,000 for what we're giving to you for $2,499. Okay, so you can keep trying on your own. Rent is coming up every 30 days, like clockwork. Every 30 days. When is it going to end for you? Tell me, what is the name one other way that you can get rid of your housing expense forever? Can somebody please let me know? What is another way you can get rid of your housing expense forever except living outside in a tent? What is another way that you can get rid of your housing expense forever except for living in a tent? Somebody said dying. Somebody said dying. So if you don't have another way to get rid of your housing expense for the rest of your life, then this is it. This is it. And if you could have figured it out on your own, then guess what? You would have figured it out on your own. If you could have already figured it out on your own, then you wouldn't be here on this webinar. All right? So there's a price to procrastination. There's a price of procrastination. We've given you options. One pay, you've saved $1,089 all the way down to $299 a month. That's like a family cell phone bill, okay? After, I believe it's Monday, the price will double to $4,997. You have until Monday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, and the price will double. You can hold the page open right now. And if you try to purchase after midnight on Monday, guess what? It won't go through. It'll say transaction failed, right? Because the price will have increased as of midnight Eastern Standard Time on Monday. Look, y'all, you were literally one deal away. This was my first deal in Brooklyn, New York. It changed the financial trajectory of my life. That was just 8 years ago, May 2013. I bought that first property, got a taste of what mailbox money felt like, getting paid on the first of the month, every single month. And I decided I wanted more. And so I kept buying and buying and buying and buying. And this is how my wealth has increased year by year by year, property by property by property, door by door by door. All right. So this is everything that you get with the program, $9,734. You can take advantage of this now. We're only looking for 300 people to take to this finish line, to the promised land, to cross the Mason-Dixon line, to rent and mortgage freedom. If you are ready, then go ahead and join. And with that, I want to say hurry before rents rise too high, which makes it harder for you to save, and prices rise too high, which makes it harder for you to buy. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. With that, Lawrence and I are going to jump on and answer as many questions as we can before the hour is up to make sure that you not only make informed decisions about multifamily real estate, but you also make informed decisions about becoming part of the Black Real Estate Investor Group. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. You could have been doing anything right now, but you chose to be here to focus on your financial future and the future of your family. And we are so grateful for that. And we appreciate you.
All right, man. Let's give a round of applause to brother Jullien Gordon. He is one of the people that I think really is the most accomplished and successful individuals in the space, and not just learning how to buy a multifamily real estate, but learning how to teach it to you and creating an entire system around that teaching for you to help you and your family attain generational wealth. So I just want to give him a round of applause.
Thank you, brother.
So we'll pop the link in here again for the Black REI group. So we pop that in there. The number one question is regarding access to the program. People want to know that if they go with the 6-month plan or the 12-month plan, will they have permanent access to the program?
So we drip module. So when you do the full pay, you get access to everything immediately. When you do the full pay, you get access to everything immediately. You go as fast as you desire. When you are on the payment plan, you will get the first 3 modules, and the rest of your modules will be dripped to you month by month by month as your payments come in. Okay. So the $499 plan, you will get 2 modules. You'll start with the first 3 modules, and 2 modules will be dripped to you as your payments come in. When you're on the $299 plan, you get the first 3 modules, and the rest of the modules will be dripped to you one by one by one as your payments come in. So if you want access to everything, if you're eager and you're ready and you're trying to get this done by the end of the year, then you want to do the full pay or the $499 plan. If you don't have that right now because of rent, then you want to get in the family while the price is where it is and do the $299.
Got it. And then also the answer to, I think that's great information, and people have asked that question as well. But yes, you do have permanent access to all of the programs when you complete your payments, right?
Yes.
So, you paid $24.99 tonight, come 2023, and you still want to come back in here. Hopefully you've already purchased, multiple properties by then, but you want to come back in and see what content was shared back in 2021. You will still have access to that course within the Black Business School.
Yeah. Everything is recorded. Our weekly Zoom calls are on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you can't make that, they are recorded. They're all stored in your course for you so that you can listen to it on your way to work and get some inspiration to get off the corporate plantation. So all of that is there for you in the program.
All right. So have you ever worked with anyone who purchased a multifamily without living in it?
Yeah. So if you're going to do non-owner occupied, that is going to be 25% down. That is how non-owner occupied multifamilies are financed. For those of you who live in expensive markets, or you love your single family home, you're emotionally attached to it, you don't want to move into a multifamily, we can find a smaller, less expensive market where 25% down makes sense. So I decided to invest in New Orleans. I bought my first property in Brooklyn, right? Owner occupied. But in order to scale my portfolio, I had to find a smaller, less expensive market. And for me, that was New Orleans, right? So in New York, a multifamily costs $1 million. So 25% down on $1 million is $250,000, right? That was going to take me a long time to get another property. But when I came to New Orleans, there were duplexes here for $200,000, $180,000 to $200,000. So literally, I could get into the New Orleans market for buy a whole house in New Orleans, the whole duplex in New Orleans for a down payment, the equivalent of a down payment in Brooklyn. So you are not stuck. We're just going to have to find a smaller, less expensive market where 25% down does make sense for you.
All right. And before we move on, I just want to congratulate Audrey, Dominique, Denise, Brother Washington, Utopia, Marcus, Sophia, Patrick, Emilio, Joy, and many, many others. That's just in the last, 12 minutes or so. Wow, one just came in for Vernon. So good to see you, and congratulations for being a part of the program.
Yeah,
We're very
welcome,
happy
welcome,
to,
welcome.
very happy to have you here and
Knockout
being a part of
orientation.
the multifamily.
Yeah, knockout orientation if you can, tomorrow and Sunday, and we'll see you on the weekly deal room call, and you'll start your first challenge on Monday. So for those of you who join knockout orientation, if you can, make sure you don't skip steps. We have one rule in the program. It is do not skip steps. There is no fat in this program whatsoever. Every single module is either going to make you money or save you money on this deal. Okay, so please do not skip steps. Go through orientation. It will give you the richest experience of what you are stepping into.
All right. So we have a few questions in here as well. So let me go to a question in YouTube. What if I pay faster on the $299 plan? So we have set up a way for you to hold your spot at the $24.99 one-time payment rate. Even if you start out on the $299 per month plan or the $499 per month plan for 6 months. So you have access to that particular option for a total of 3 months from the time of your first payment. So let's say you wanted to make 2 payments of $499, and then you say, I really love this program. I've put $1,000 into this program, and you want to go ahead and pay off the rest early. We would just, for that third payment, charge you an additional, basically $1,500 to make sure your balance is zero, and then you have access to the program permanently. So yes, that is definitely an option.
Did y'all hear that? You have 90 days to pay off the balance and still save $1,089. So you can start right now for $299. Let's say you have a bonus coming from work. Let's say you have a financial windfall coming from a life insurance policy. Rest in peace. If you lost a family member, this is part of the transition of generational wealth, right? Let's say you have a tax return coming, but you don't have it right now. You can literally start at $299 right now and pay off the balance within 90 days. If that money is coming within 90 days, and you will still save the $1,089. Look, y'all, I don't want the $1,089. You're going to need that for your appraisal and for your property inspection. Okay. Those typically cost around $400 to $500 each. So we'd rather you have that. So we're giving you opportunity. If your money's funny right now, you can start at $299 and you can pay off the balance within 90 days and still save the $1,089 and get access to everything immediately upon the 90th day. So we're being as flexible as we can with you and for you to make sure that you get this information right now and you're able to still save, even if you don't have the $2,499 right now.
All right. So Ebony wants to know, does the money back guarantee apply if you pay the full payment? So yes. So the money back guarantee applies for any of the payment plans or full pay options that you go with for this particular program.
Yeah.
So
you're gonna try to pay the $2,499 and go through the program in 30 days. You will not be able to finish in 30 days. If that's what you're thinking, you will not be able to finish in 30 days. But good luck.
Yeah. So Larry Brown, actually I don't know this brother's name. So Larry something wants to know, if in bankruptcy, then what?
Yeah, so bankruptcy, chapter 711, I think 13 or 14. It takes about 24 months after discharge for you to be able to get finance. So you can learn the game. You can find a financing partner, perhaps a brother, a significant other, etc., to actually where you're finding the deal and you're bringing the deal to the table and you're closing the deal with them, but you're not on the financing. So it doesn't have to stop you, but there are timelines with banks and lenders that if you're going through bankruptcy, we have to adhere to. So again, it's about 24 months after discharge before you can actually get financed.
All right. So Latoya wants to know, this offer is only until Monday, and after that, the price is the full. You say $9K. The program is actually a full price of basically $5K. Yep. So yeah. So can you buy things in pieces as well? So can she just take one piece of the program and keep the other piece, that type of thing?
Can you buy a Camry? Can you buy a Toyota Camry, just the body by itself? We're not going to give you pieces because then the whole thing won't function. The whole thing won't function. we would be selling you something incomplete, and therefore you will fall short and not get to the goal. Every piece that we've integrated in here, from credit to the purchase of past deal analyzer, to the Airbnb program, to the accountability and the coaching, it is all cohesive to make sure that you get to the finish line. So we will not sell it to you piecemeal, because every piece is important.
All right. So someone asked, when are the weekly Zoom calls? I believe you mentioned that, but can you
Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all recorded if you can't make that time for whatever reason.
All right. So the programs every Sunday for the deal room call. So every Sunday at 8 p.m.
Yes,
8
sir.
p.m. Eastern time. Someone wants to know, can they purchase or buy basically your deal analyzer? So
Nothing
is that available for sale?
Only my students. We maybe in the future we will make it into an app, but right now it is only my students have access to it.
All right. So Whit says, forget the payment plans. I can get the full payment some way. How long is the website link going to be good for? Since it's a lifetime access, I can start studying after I get my license. So this offer that you hear tonight is good until Monday night at, call it 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, right? Yeah. So as soon as the clock hits midnight, the deal will no longer be available.
This question I see is, what if I'm self-employed? Can I still get finance? So for those of you, I know entrepreneur. How many of you are entrepreneurs? How many of you are entrepreneurs? Let me know in chat. How many are entrepreneurs? See how many people going through this. Remember, I got finance when I was self-employed. So if you're self-employed, here's what I encourage you to do. First, I encourage you to start paying yourself out of your business bi-weekly. So whether that's $500 a month every 2 weeks or $1,000 every 2 weeks, go ahead and start paying yourself out of your business, so that from an underwriting standpoint, you can show that your business can support you as if you were an employee. Your lender, if you own the business 100%, will take into account the income that you're getting personally from the business and the income that is remaining in the business when going to finance you, okay? You do not have to get payroll. All I need you to do is set up an automatic transfer every 2 weeks to show that the business can support you as an employee, and then you'll take that to the table with the underwriter. So that's what I really encourage self-employed folks to do. If you're in a cash-based business and you've been hiding money from the IRS by only accepting cash, you will get penalized for that. You will, because the lender will not be able to recognize that as income. However, there is such thing as a bank statement loan. Okay. Bank statement loan is where they look at your bank statements and they see how cash is flowing in and out of your bank account. And they will, it's typically a higher down payment, typically around 10%, and a higher interest rate. So there are options if you are in a very cash-based business, but typically if you start paying yourself bi-weekly and you have decent tax accounting and tax returns from the past 3 years, you can still get financed as self-employed. You can still get financed as self-employed. So,
all right, are the course trainings live or already recorded training?
They are recorded, and then we connect every week on Sundays. Okay, they're already recorded, and I update them based on the market. So as COVID hit and things of that nature, I made updates to the training to adapt our strategy accordingly. So before COVID, we had a specific offer strategy that we used to get to get deals. And then once COVID hit, that changed, and we had a new offer strategy that has been working like a gym. So I update the curriculum where it needs to be in order to keep it current.
All right. So he said Monday is the deadline. Banks closed on the weekends. If we start off with a payment plan, can we pay off early? Yeah. So you can start tonight. Pay. We really only accept debit cards and credit cards, as well as PayPal for the one-time payment options. But yes, as I mentioned earlier, you have 3 months, a total of 3 months to either switch from either the $2.99 per month or the $4.99 per month to the $24.99 one-time payment. So we'll basically hold that spot for you for a total of 90 days. Mm-hmm. So Carolina wants to know the URL for the program again. So it's at the bottom of the screen, but I'll put it in chat now just so you can see it. But theblackreigroup.com, theblackreigroup.com. All right, let's see. Yeah, a lot of people asking about that upgrade. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Roy, the price changes on basically come Tuesday at 12:01 or whatever. That price is no longer available.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. Would you always pass on a property that only shows 5 to 7 signs of gentrification?
Pretty much, yes. It's too unless I had money that was just sitting there and thought the neighborhood would eventually turn. There's a timeline. So 5 to 7 signs of gentrification. That's probably going to take like 4 years before you get to 10 to 15. So if you have money just sitting and it's doing nothing, you may decide I want to hold this property until it's time to actually take advantage of the appreciation. So, but typically, yeah, I'm moving on there. I believe that there are always deals to be found, and I can always find deals that are way better than that. So I typically won't let money just sit in a property that is not yielding at my desired rate of return. My desired rate of return is 15%. That's where I'm at in the game. But I definitely encourage you a minimum 12% for my students.
The next thing is, this is interesting. A lot of people were asking about VA, right? So we have a lot of veterans in the group tonight. So will this program work for them? And can they use their VA loan for stuff like this as well?
Yeah, I just showed you 4 examples of people who use their VA loan to close on properties. You can also use your VA loan twice if you haven't used up all your benefits. The VA loan is the best mortgage in the entire country. No down payment, low interest rates, no PMI, etc. So you have access to the best loan. Let's actually leverage it and use it to get you in the game. Real quick, I see questions coming up in the chat. Please use the Q&A function to ask your question. We have over 100 questions right now. We're going through them as quickly as possible, and we're going through them in order. If you're asking your question in chat, the chat continues to move, so we will lose your question. So please copy your question from chat and put it in the Q&A function. I know you're going to be at the bottom right now, but this is how we are going through this process. So look for the Q&A function here in Zoom, and please copy your question there.
Are we actually, before we get to that question, let me see if anyone has signed up. So we've had quite a few people sign up in the last, call it 5 minutes or so. So Lucrece, it's great to see you. Hello, Bobby. It's wonderful. Congratulations for being a part of the program. Adrian, we have Dr. Joe, who just signed up a few seconds ago, as well as Miss PT. It's good to see you as well. Jolie, that's my daughter's middle name, but it's good to see you as well. Clarissa, Katrina, Larry, and so on and so forth.
Beautiful.
So it's very, very, very happy. Congratulations for being a part of the program. We're very happy to have you here. So are we able to replay the webinar? My spouse was not able to attend.
Yeah, we'll send out a replay. Can we upload? We can upload this, Lawrence, to privately and put it on. Send it out via email tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll do that. For those of you who need to, we want your house, again, a house divided cannot stand. We want you to be on one accord. But honestly, some of you are going to be at odds, unfortunately, with your significant other about this. So at some point, if you know that you are the financial leader in your family, you actually may have to make a decision to go at it on your own until they get on board. We've had that happen a couple of times with multifamily movement members. They had to say, look, my spouse was not with me at first, but I had to do it because I knew it was best for our family's financial future. And so, these are some tough conversations, but if you want this and your spouse doesn't, if you want generational wealth, your spouse doesn't, if you want to secure the bag and your spouse is trying to blow the bag, that's a recipe for, misalignment and a lot of conflict. So if this opens up a conversation in your household, an important one around money, then so be it. You have to have the conversation. Stop putting it, sweeping it under the rug. You have to have the conversation so that you can be on one accord. I know that you are here because you want what's best for your family's last name. They might not understand it. So definitely show them the replay. Let them hear it from somebody else if you are at odds with them, and then have that real conversation about your future and your financial goals as a unit.
So is there a specific number I should have saved to start?
So we can always go with NACA. You saw that Gloria closed by only paying title fees. I typically want you to have cash reserves though. So if you, based on your market, if mortgage payments are going to be around $1,500, I would like you to have 3 to 6 months of reserves. So 3 to 6 months of reserves would be $4,500 to $9,000 saved for cash reserves. That's if you're going with NACA. If you're going with FHA, you're going to need 3.5% down plus at least three to 4 months of cash reserve. So it all depends on your market and how much multifamily real estate is in your market. All right. And the cash reserves are really just there in case something happens. Let's say you have 2 vacant units when you acquire the property and it takes 30 to 60 days for you to get tenants there. The cash reserves is just there to make sure that you can make that mortgage payment until the property is at full capacity and fully optimized and has the right people or tenants inside of it. So that's what the cash reserves are there for. I just want you to play it safe on that end.
All right, let's see here. What if my first home was foreclosed on? Can this program still work for me?
It depends on the timeline of when that was, how that's showing up on your credit report, and when that's going to get discharged if you file for bankruptcy. Without any timeline and things of that nature, I don't know. But obviously there have been people who bounce back from foreclosure and still own multifamily today, but it depends on the timeline to determine how quickly you can get in the game.
All right. So where can I see the recording of this on this Zoom? I want my daughters to watch it again with me, please and thank you. So we will send that out, and we'll probably send it out via link and have it open only while this deal is going on. Right. Yeah. So come Monday night, we will remove access to this particular Zoom recording, and that would be the end of this particular offer.
This is a masterclass, y'all. We could have charged.
Yeah.
We could have charged for this.
really good.
We could have charged for this course.
Yeah. What type of income is required for approval? I guess that means a loan approval.
Consistent, at least 6 months of consistent income, and it all depends on your market. So $3,000 a month may work in Boise, Idaho, but it's not going to work in Brooklyn anymore, right? So it all depends on your market, but it has to be consistent income. So yeah, you can be on disability or retired and still get in the game. Some people's retirement income is $8,000 a month. Some people's retirement income is $3,000 a month. So it just has to be consistent. It has to be enough for the market that you're seeking to buy in.
All right. So, all right. Foom, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Funmilio, I apologize if I butcher that. But is this program different than the other program from last year?
The program keeps improving. So last year, and the price keeps on increasing. So last year we didn't have the market meetups. Last year we didn't have the purchase of past deal analyzer. Last year we didn't have the property. Management modules. So
or the network of agents as well.
Or the network of agents. So we keep adding on to increase your chances of succeeding. So to make sure that you get to the finish line. So the biggest additions have been the purchase past deal analyzer, market meetups, and the network of agents. So, and the 2 preferred lenders. So these are things that make it more valuable. These are things like adding power steering is standard today, but these are the features that we're adding on to make the program more and more valuable and the students more and more successful.
Jullien, can you repeat that line about the cash reserves in terms of how much you would like from the cash reserve perspective?
Yeah, I typically want you to have 3 to 6 months of cash reserves. So based on the property that you're seeking to get, what is the mortgage going to be? Oh, it's going to be $2,000 a month. Well, 3 months of cash reserves would be $6,000, right? So 3 to 6 months of cash reserves to get ready to buy. And that means that you're going with NACA, right? And NACA is no down payment, no closing costs, right? So.
All right. So Charlene wants to know what's the A, B, and C, and where do we get tickets to it? So with this particular offer, it's you get free tickets to the Generational Wealth Conference. Is that correct, Jullien? Is that what we moved?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
We moved.
So
Yeah.
those are
So
two different conferences. So
Mhm.
ABNC covers a wide range of things and issues in the Black community, from all the way from money to marriage to politics, etc. Generational Wealth Conference is specifically the financial conversation and the wealth building conversation. So those are two different events.
right, and I put the link for the ABNC in the chat, Charlene, if you want to check out that as well. They just went on sale maybe like earlier this week, so about 4 or 5 days ago. So is this a lifetime payment? So Brenda, yes. So these three options, basically, no matter what option you decide within the year, so within the next 12 months, you will have permanent access to this particular program. So that's the short of it. It's interesting. So Yvette wants to know, what is the shortest amount of time between the time a student started the program and acquired their property?
Ronique was less than 30 days. I don't have the exact day, but Ronique was less than 30 days when he closed on his fourplex in Birmingham, Alabama.
All right. So Mia B wants to know, when I join tonight, should I reschedule my appointment till I go through the school? I'm not sure what appointment you're talking about. I know someone earlier mentioned a NACA appointment. Or something like that.
Go forward with that. Build a relationship with NACA. Remember, NACA will help you get financed. NACA does not train you on how to find and finalize deals. Okay. Financing is the first step, and financing is actually the easiest step. Many people think it's the hardest step. Financing is the easiest step. The hardest step is finding the deal and finalizing the deal. Every contract that you get does not actually lead to closing. So go forward with your actual paperwork with NACA and begin that process, because NACA, you have to actually prove to them and show them 3 months of consistent behavior. So go ahead and start that process.
Someone wants to know, how do we protect our assets without an LLC?
Insurance. You just pay for insurance. I had a floor cave in, just a tile on a floor cave in. There was a weak underlayment on a property that I purchased, and tenant partially fell through and hurt her leg, and insurance covered everything. All I had to do was call the insurance company, and that was it. So you just get proper insurance for the property, right? Principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Insurance is the last I in pity. Okay, so that's it. You don't have to go create an LLC. In fact, you cannot get financed with NACA, FHA, or VA as an LLC. So we have to go, for this particular first property, we got to go as an individual.
What if you owe loans on vehicles? Will that stop you from getting financing?
That's all determined by your debt to income ratio. Your debt to income ratio is all your monthly debt payments added up, divided by your income. Right? So let's say all your monthly debt payments are $400 a month and your income is $1,000 a month. Your debt to income ratio would be 40%. Every lender has their own ratio, okay, for what debt to income ratio they will loan to. And you have to just make sure that your debt to income ratio is within their lending guidelines. Right?
All right. So another self-employment question. Can self-employed get approved through NACA without what you just explained?
Yeah, you just have to show and prove with numbers consistent that you're able to save a certain amount a month every single month. So the way NACA typically finances is NACA will take how much you're paying in rent. So let's say you're paying $1,200 a month in rent, right? And you pay that on time. And so let's say in addition to that, you're able to show them that you can save $300 a month. NACA will finance you for about $1,500 a month, because you were paying rent of $1,200 and you saved $300 3 months in a row. So you get financed for about $1,500. That's generally how NACA finances folks.
Is hard lending an option?
Hard lending is typically only for our borrowing a property, and borrowing is an investment strategy: buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. So you're typically only doing hard money lending, because hard money lending is going to have a higher interest rate, right? So you're typically only doing hard money lending when you are going to force appreciation or you're going to flip a property. we are looking to buy and hold. So we do not do hard money lending in this particular program.
All right. Is the credit mastery included? So yes, we did a special master lecture with Castley Johnson, who's also in this space. He has a really popular startup that just raised quite a bit of cash, if I remember correctly. He will be, or he is, one of our instructors in the Black Business School. He did a master lecture for us in the past, and that credit course will be included in this package. All right. So how about we take a couple more questions, Jullien, and then go ahead and get out of here.
We're at the hour, so 3 more questions. Yeah.
All right. Oh, so you had that comment about the condos at the beginning, and somebody wanted to circle around back to that. So Marcy stated that I'm interested and willing or will be joining, but I live in a condo. What is the strategy? I find it's not easy to sell.
It's not easy to sell. Yeah, that's the issue with condos, is that they're not easy to sell because they have specific guidelines. Other people have say in who you sell to, the assessments, the HOA fees. So if you're okay in your condo and where your mortgage is or whatnot, and since you can't sell or it's hard for you to sell, then we're just gonna have to, if you still want to be a real estate investor, you're gonna have to invest in a smaller, less expensive market where 25% down makes sense. So that's, I don't know what the attraction of condos is, but people keep getting caught up just like timeshares, and then they're trying to figure their way out. So yeah, that's what it is.
All right. So D wants to know how much time would you say is necessary to be successful? I want to do this, but working 7 days a week, 10 hours a day as an independent contractor, and I don't see how this can be feasible.
This program requires about 30 minutes a day or 4 hours per week. So if you are busy in that way, then I would encourage you to, say, look, I'm going to set aside 2 hours on Saturday morning and 2 hours on Sunday, and the weekly deal room call on Sunday night. So it's only 30 minutes a day, and you just stay consistent and you just keep doing one module at a time, and you'll get to the finish line. If that's where you are in life, that's where you are. But ultimately, if you're working that hard, you probably don't want to be doing that for long. And so we have to create a way out. And so that way out, the rest of your time has to be committed to getting free. So that's what this program is all about.
All right. I see people in chat talking about the Facebook group, but it's pretty lit over there in the Facebook group, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see. Yeah, you'll see when you get into the program.
Yes.
All right. And I guess the last question here. All right. We'll stop with this one. Do I have to have money saved up to actually start this program?
No, because it's going to take you, or if you're just going through the regular pace, it's going to take you 3 months to go through the curriculum. So as long as you will need to be saving money while going through the program, your money has to come from somewhere. Obviously there's still NACA 0% down, no closing costs. So NACA, if you're on the edge, NACA is there for you as an option. But I do encourage you, we need to figure out your income situation. If you have no money right now, there's something that's broken. Obviously we want to get rent off the books for you. But we also need to figure out how to increase your income during that time. So those are some things that we would want to focus on. We don't do income generating strategies beyond real estate in this particular program. That would be a whole nother program and course. But you need to be saving while in the program.
All right, cool, man. So I guess I'll let you close us out. We'll get on with our night. We've been on here about 3 hours now. Hope everyone got a lot of value from what Brother Jullien has been talking about. He's one of the most insightful, intelligent people that I know, and one who really looks forward to and really follows through with anything he promises. So we're very happy to have him as faculty within the Black Business School.
I appreciate that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but we can't really see you like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, I think you might have broken up a little bit.
Somehow I froze. I don't know. I'm glad you can still hear me though. I just want to say that look, y'all, I am the #1 conductor on the above ground railroad. I don't know anybody to date that has led more people to multifamily home ownership in our community than myself. And I'm just really excited to continue to move forward towards my goal of 300, which is how many people Harriet Tubman freed over the course of her lifetime. And so I know that one property is literally going to lead to over $1 million in generational wealth for you and your family over a 30-year period. Again, this is not a get rich quick scheme. Okay. We want to be very clear about that. This is not a get rich quick scheme. This is a get rich guaranteed over time system. This is a get rich guaranteed over time system. And so if you just play the long-term game, then it's actually going to free you up to take bigger risks in your own business, bigger risk in stocks, bigger risk in crypto. But you know that your family's financial foundation will be secure because of your multifamily real estate portfolio, which isn't going anywhere. There will always be a demand for housing. And if we can literally get the biggest expense of your life off the books, if you literally kept $1,000 a month, every single month, and you were able to invest that at 6% annually, over the next 30 years, you would have over $1 million. We're showing you a proven path to you becoming a millionaire. But again, it's not a get rich quick scheme. It is a get rich guaranteed system over time. So go ahead and go to theblackreigroup.com and get on board. You have until Monday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, but you don't want to miss Sunday's call. So go ahead, get in now, get access, complete orientation, and I will see you on Sunday for our weekly Durham call, and you'll start your first challenge on Monday instead of having to wait a whole nother week.
All right. Thank you, Brother Jullien. And I know some people weren't able to get their questions answered. So just to let you know, we still have over 100 questions, still in chat that's open. And there's no way that we'll be able to answer all those questions here tonight. But if you still have questions, please head over and shoot an email to support@theblackbusinessschool.com. That's support@theblackbusinessschool.com. And you can get many of your questions answered there. They won't be answering personal questions in regards to, I have this property in Michigan and I want to sell it. What should I do? That's not what the support is there for. That's what the deal room calls are there for on Sunday nights. But if you have a question about the offer and how to move forward with the Black Real Estate Investors Group, they will be happy to assist you and serve you in that way. So please head over to support@theblackbusinessschool.com to get those questions answered. So on behalf of Brother Jullien Gordon, I'm Lawrence Watkins. Thank you for attending tonight. Please head over to theblackreigroup.com, theblackreigroup.com to be a part of the program. And we look forward to seeing you on Sundays.
Indeed.